Open for business. There we are. Jade, can you hear us? Ian in the house. Ian, can you hear us? BM fan in the house. My homie. Sori, can you get me some soda, please? It said video unavailable. Mic quality is worse than usual. I can always rely on BM fan to give an encouraging statement. Bit. What's up, Overshadow Sean? Marcine in the house. Silver Kyrie. Yeah. Yuck. Hold on. Vid URL ain't working. Try again. Yo. Where the blood and the battle scars? Sounds really muffled. Is everybody else hearing me sounding muffled? Or is it just BM fan? Yeah, let's see if that works.
There's too much stuff. You take them, and I'll get your soda.
Well, we'll just open them on here.
So ready.
Ruffled. Becky in the house. That is way worse. Okay. Give me a second. What about now? We can hear your neighbors 10 blocks away. Yeah, I know. I know. Hopefully that improves. Now it's quiet. All right, hold on. If I put it to 0. What about now? What about now, losers? Turn the mic up a little bit. It's on mono. That's better. That's better. That's great. Good. Carmen in the house. Oh my God. Let me see. Let's try this. So what y'all been up to? Hey, you're a loser.
Do you know where my nursing cover is?
I have no idea where your nursing cover is. Is it still in the car?
Maybe.
It's very possibly in the car. Minnie Vin seems unhappy about being on camera. Yeah, the little homie watching the UFC. Who's fighting right now in UFC? What's up, little homie? So what are we talking about today, y'all? What are we up to? What's new in the world? What's up, guys? Oh, are you smiling? He was just smiling, but the mic was in the way, so you didn't get to see it. What's up, Black Satan? Me and Zonia were having some interesting discussions earlier. Interesting. Maybe we'll hear about it. Donald Cerrone versus Tony Ferguson. I don't care about either one of those guys. I don't care about either one of those fellers. You starting to get your life back? What's up, little homie? Look. Look. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, I heard interesting discussions happen in Discord. That's what I heard. Just finished a new season of Black Mirror. Yeah, I heard. Didn't you start watching Black Mirror?
Is that the one I was watching with your brother?
I don't know. It might have been.
I don't remember. Hey, guys.
Oh, now Sori showed up. Now the real star's here.
Oh, boy.
Now the real star is here.
Oh, he looks cute on there.
I know.
I can't remember if I've been watching Good Girls right now.
What's the premise of that show, Black Mirror?
I don't remember. Oh, look, people are saying hi to me. Hello.
What?
People are saying hi to me. Oh, he smiled for them?
Well, he's like, Orion is like kind of smiling, kind of not. Kind of hard to explain. Let me just do some experimentation here. Is it like that? Let's see what it looks like in real life.
Why are you doing that?
I'm just playing
Oh.
around with stuff, trying to figure stuff out.
Okay. But remember what you did with the baby shower? You like, it was all stretched out weird?
Yeah.
Yeah, please don't do that again. The original Twilight Zone is hard to compete with. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so it's a standalone thing. They're standalone episodes like Twilight Zone, I see.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Chernobyl was phenomenal. What happened, buddy? What's the problem? What's wrong, Yarosul? Uh-oh. Oh, what's the problem?
It's because you're one-handing him. He doesn't like it. Either give him full attention
Doesn't
or
like
he's
one
not
hand?
good. Yeah, like when you do one hand and you have your phone in the other, he gets all upset.
Really?
You just did the computer and him. He's like, he wants sole attention.
What a brat.
I don't know. I could try to feed him again.
Then
if he
didn't
doesn't
you
stop.
mention you trained BJJ a while back? Yeah. Yeah, I've done some BJJ. Way back. How you doing? Are you okay with your rest?
Ryan practicing those black metal vocals.
I just think he's tired. That looks like the tired face. Ah. Look at that. See, you just want to go to sleep. You brat.
All right, well, get him to sleep. He was just. Where did his pacifier go?
Where the blood and the battle scars. We don't want to gravel in.
I didn't give you the pacifier? Yeah, there it is. Right here.
Oh.
Welcome to my live stream now. I'm going to be... You'll have to take the baby in the other room, sir. If you wiggle it, sometimes he like... Nope. I'll have to probably leave.
Is he hot?
He looks hot.
Maybe he doesn't like your shirt.
Huh? I haven't been holding him. Sailor's been holding him. I'll probably go change him into something like a little onesie. Something cooler. I'll be back.
This is birth control at its best. Well, I don't know. Sharing the joys of parenting. Yeah, hey, it's fun. It's fun. You can't say it's not fun. Doing pretty good, man. Doing pretty good. I haven't done a fireside in a long time. We missed you guys. So here we are. I know the deal, Sean. We good, bro. We good. Death fan. Haven't talked to you in a trillion years, bruh. Did you catch David Pakman on Rogan? Why is the name David Pakman familiar to me? David Pakman Rogan. Which one is that? Oh, no, I didn't catch that yet. I like David Pakman. He explains a problem with Medicare for all. I'll have to look at that later. Dan Pogmore. What's up, Dan? Paula Nieves in the house. Haven't spoken to you in a while. All my old friends. Now I just need Ben Webb and the big homie, what's his name? Dirk. Hey, Fireside. Dirk. I liked his game. Man, kids, man. I enjoyed your conversation with the Tired Atheist the other day. Thank you very much. That's my guy. That's my guy, the Tired Atheist. I think I'm going on another show to explain one of Jesus's failed prophecies, so-called. So that one's going to be fun. Arcana fan in the house. Cool. Yeah. Tired Atheist is, he's one of my guys. He's one of my guys. Please invite. Invite to what, MDeath fan? Invite to what? What do you want an invite to? I don't invite you guys to that stuff because it's like we put out like an hour and a half of content a day, and then we do firesides. What happened?
Well, the only way that I can get in here is like first I have to get in here and then set him up and then I can come over.
Did you see Pastor David Lynn's arrest? Yeah, I heard he got arrested. Yeah, free speech is Sorry. Discord is a chat server. It's for the patrons. Well, geez, MDeath fan, I don't know if you're going to get an invite to the Discord thingamajig. Bro, you were just tired. You're just tired, family. What was I just saying?
Something about a pastor or a Discord?
I'd love to hear the prosecution of Christ case he proposed where he'd make his case and you would defend. I'd love to see that. Oh, okay. Yeah, I've taken pretty much every, Andrew, I've taken pretty much every personality test on the planet. So, yes, I've taken a bunch of them. What do you mean wrangle the ladybugs? You're not going to go and kill those ladybugs, are you? What's up, Ecstatics? Yeah, we're doing pretty good. We're doing pretty good. The beautiful Orion. Yeah, the Village Discord. Yeah, I purposely stay away from the Discord because I don't want to ruin it. It sounds like a really awesome place. But I probably not. Yeah, I don't tell you when I'm doing like videos for other forums or whatever because I don't want you guys to get sick and tired of me. Did y'all happen to watch the recent Jesus series on History Channel? No, I have not. I have not. Jordan Peterson has a personality test that I'm interested in taking. Is Michael Jackson the GOAT? All genres? Was Michael Jackson bigger than Sinatra? Probably. At his height, he was probably bigger than Sinatra. Yeah, I'd co-sign that. Michael Jackson's probably the GOAT. Probably. Whoa, MDeath fan. That's crazy. Right, Zonia. That's why I don't invite y'all to the other things that I get invited to. Was he bigger? Here's Dan. No, Dan, it's not. No, not at all. And the reason for that, Dan, is there's a theological reason that Jesus couldn't have had a human father. There's theology around it. So it's not one of those things where Mary just goes, "Oh crap," and then it just so happens that her bastard son is this miracle working Messiah that changed the world in 3.5 years of public life. Good try though. I'd stay away from Peterson's personality test. You'll probably just get called a postmodern neo-Marxist or something. Yeah, I think he's too quick with the Marxism stuff. Like I said, that's always been my criticism of Peterson, is that he, because he's such a disciple of Solzhenitsyn, and because Solzhenitsyn impacted him so deeply, which of course, if you read the Gulag, it's impossible not to be impacted deeply. But I think that he has an overreaction to Solzhenitsyn's work, and so now he's quick to the trigger on Marxist this, Marxist that. But other than that, I love the big homie. If even 10% of the Michael Jackson rumors were true, he was a monster. I agree. If they're true, here's my problem, Sean, with the Michael Jackson stuff. The parents of these kids sent their kids off to sleep in the bed of a grown man for all this extended period of time. I don't know any parent who would do that. And then even after he was accused of being this supposed pedophile, they still did it just so that they could sue him and settle out of court. So I'm always going to center the kids. If either way, the kids are victims, whether he did that to them or not. Either Michael Jackson exploited them, or their parents exploited them, or it was both. But in either case, it's either those parents are monsters and Michael Jackson's just a very eccentric person, or Michael Jackson and the parents are monsters, or whatever. The only victims in that situation, in my mind, are the kids. That's true, M. Death fan. I was way too dark for way too long. You're right. Well, yeah, Archero, I agree. Like, come on, a grown man wants to sleep in a bed with your kid. Like, it would never happen. You know, so it just so happens that all these parents that made all these accusations settled out of court and made millions. So I have a really, really hard time with that. So is there no Ladies Week after all? Silver Kyrie, Ladies Week was one of the first themed weeks we did in Vin and Sori history. Steven Swerdan, what are your thoughts on pantheism, Vin? My thoughts on pantheism is that Jesus said that he's the way, the truth, and the life. Nobody comes to the Father except through him. So I believe that Jesus' teachings are the only true path to God. But I also believe that within every religious system, there's something that points back to ultimate truth. And so I don't believe that God ontologically can be found in a tree, but I do believe that God identically can be found in a tree, meaning the identity of who God is can be discovered in a tree if you look long enough. But his essence, his ontology, I don't think can be found in a tree. And so that's where I would divert from pantheism. I don't know if that answers your question. It's awful for MJ's family because they have to deal with the fallout, same as Frances Bean Cobain to deal with her father's suicide and everybody calling her mother a murderer. Yeah, it's crazy, Andrew. Like the celebrities become things and people forget that they're human beings. So, yeah, it's pretty terrible. Pantheons are great. Pick the god that best represents you in your way of life. I'm down with yeah. I actually believe in a henotheistic pantheon actually, but that's for a different discussion. I don't really know. Do you still hate the song Imagine? Yes, Steve. I will always hate that song, forever. Like in my soul, I will always hate that song. But he did another song that was really good that I liked a lot. So, what? Wait, is there anyone that believes Courtney didn't do it? I don't believe she killed Kurt Cobain. That's crazy. That is insane. Any suggestions for future theme weeks that really struck your fancy? Yes, what is it? I like the cover idea, right? So you do the official song and then the cover song in the underground show. That's probably going to be our next one. I hope it comes with a professional massage therapist and servants to fan and feed you. Christianity is choosing God. Just so happens it's a real God. Right, Sean. I agree. Sadakt. Right. When you breaking out the guitar? When this room doesn't look like a storage facility. When are we going to have the Vid and Sori Vlad TV like channel? Well, we've got a pretty good interview that we recorded in the hospital the day after Orion was born. That's probably going to get released in the next 7 days. We are going to make some pretty drastic moves this year that we're keeping it close to the chest before launch, but it's a drastic move that will affect the channel long term, and it's all positive. But that's what we got right now. Vlad TV. There's this guy David Bet something. He's from Iran that I really enjoy. I really enjoy his channel. But yeah. Just got evicted today in my recording studios at Riggs and Close. Whew. Dang, John. Okay, so John, what's your plan, buddy? Johnny Melancholy, what's your plan? How are you getting out of that? Southern Fried Metal Week. That sounds very curious. What is Southern Fried Metal? What would that do? You do, MDeath fan? That's a pretty good one. Sori has the same shirt. She never wears it the same time I do. I don't even actually. She never wore it. Actually, I was wearing this shirt when Orion was born. I'm pretty sure.
You should stop that. I was gonna wear mine today, but I didn't think that would be good.
Is that Ben Webb in the house? Ben asked me a question in email. It was this big long one. And then I sent him, I said, "What? Do you have a phone? What's your phone number?" He's like, "What does that have to do with the question I asked you?"
He's still not giving it?
To be honest with you, Ben, I didn't even look at everything that you wrote in that email. I just wanted your phone number.
I thought you already had his phone number.
I did, and then he changed it. I think I texted him too much or something, and then he just decided whatever. What happened with the gift opening thing you were going to do back when YouTube went down? Yeah, we were going to. We still will. We'll probably do it at the end of this show. Feels good, right? Sparta! Yeah. Yeah, it does. For sure. Super Joint Ritual. Never heard of them. What's that? Babies are my kryptonite. True. Everybody wants to do Ladies Week again. Where the blood and the battle scars. What is 22? What's 22?
No, you gotta.
I'm assuming 22 is about Ladies Week.
I just got here. I was out of town.
We was out of town and somebody asked. Hey, thank you very much. What do you think about that Canadian preacher being arrested?
He got arrested?
Yeah.
Oh wait, no. Which one? What are we talking about? I was thinking about another situation.
I appreciate the super chat, Mr. Tsunami.
Oh, thank you. What happened, you guys? Put it in the comments. Who's this pastor? What did he get arrested for?
It's probably for disturbing the peace as crowd rejects message. This is in Canada. Canada is pretty fascistic when it. Canada's kind of like what's his name? Those people that don't believe in free speech. Who is it? BM fan, you don't believe in free speech, right?
He doesn't?
Yeah, he doesn't believe in free speech. But this is crazy. The optics are crazy here. I gotta see what this guy did though. What did he do? Yeah, Vin, you text me too much. I wish you would stop. My bad. Did you see Kenneth Copeland? Kenneth, why is preterism so unpopular in our circles? I have no idea, XBM. Preterism is awesome. I love it. It's like one of my favorite doctrines of all time. I have no idea why it isn't so popular. A Canadian preacher was arrested on Tuesday and charged with disturbing the peace as he met with opposition while sharing the gospel in a section of Toronto known as the Gay Village. David Lynn of Christ Forgiveness Ministry has been on a preaching tour throughout Toronto and says that he was not specifically targeting homosexuals when he began preaching at church and Wellesley. In video posted to social media, Lynn can be heard explaining that all men have sinned, whether heterosexual or homosexual, as all have violated the laws of God. Jesus died for the sinner. Do you know that every person is a sinner? Every heterosexual has sinned. Every homosexual has sinned. And sin is when we violate the laws of God. We go contrary to the things of faith. Those nearby began to surround Lynn with the rainbow flag and other banners and blocked him from proceeding down the sidewalk as he walked. Some held signs with messages such as love is love, and if your religion teaches you to hate, then you need a new religion. The crowd opposition soon began to grow. I'm here to tell you today that you deserve respect. Every person is deserving of respect, he said, as an angry group gathered around him. At one point in the early part of the outreach, Lynn began to individually ask those standing in opposition, would you tolerate me as a Christian? None wanted to answer. Police later addressed Lynn and told him that he could be arrested for causing a disturbance, and so he turned his microphone off and preached on the sidewalk with his bare voice. Jesus Christ is calling all people to himself, but his words were drowned out by the shouts of the crowd. Officers approached him and advised him that he was under arrest. This is against the law. Wow. Jesus Christ died for everybody, Lynn said, as he was being led away. When asked what he was doing wrong, Lynn was told that he had caused a disturbance and a breach of the peace. How so? I was sharing the gospel. Police video footage alleges that Lynn was making derogatory comments toward homosexuals to disturb the people, but the officer also acknowledged, I don't know what those comments were or what he was saying. So they arrested the guy for derogatory comments, but they don't know what those comments were. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously I disagree with the action that the Canadian government took. But that's what Jesus said. He said that he was sending us out as lambs among wolves. And we've dealt with that. People that we love have dealt with it.
Yeah.
We've been to court.
Yeah.
We've been in depositions. I mean, it's still going. I got an email. So, I mean, good for him. You know, it happens. It is what it is. I mean, I don't feel sorry for the brother.
I don't either, but
I
at the
tip my
same
hat
time,
to him.
I don't think like that kind of behavior where everybody was surrounding him, like if there was, if that was happening to another group of people wouldn't be okay with that. But there are certain things that are, more allowable that people are allowed to do toward Christians that are not acceptable in other groups. Not that horrible things don't happen, obviously, in lieu of the live thing that you did the other day. Obviously bad things are happening. I just don't think that when there's one person by themselves and then multiple people surround that person, I don't think that that's good.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously okay to hate Christians. It's okay to post Christophobic things. I mean, there's a guy that, watches the channel that posted something incredibly anti-Christ and anti-Jesus, and I said, you know, if I made this joke about a gay person, you know, everybody would be calling for my head, and rightly so. So it's okay to hate Christians, and be hateful towards them and stifle their free speech, but it's not something that, you know, I complain about, because that's what's supposed to happen.
Yeah, no, and I get that. Yeah. And we didn't complain about it when it was happening to us either, but.
Well, yeah, I don't. Yeah. I mean,
But again, like I guess I feel more sad for him because he was by himself, and when someone's by themselves, you know.
Well, I mean, I know that profile, and I'm sure he's fine, and I'm sure he knew what the risks were when he went in there. I mean, it happens. So that's my opinion. My opinion is, obviously, I think it's a miscarriage of justice. I think it's terrible, but I mean, I think that, you know what the risks are going in, and good for him. Jesus said that would happen. Yeah. Everyone needs hugs. Filthy Christians too. Yeah, I know. Filthy Christians. Yeah, I mean, you know. I mean, obviously, you know. I forgot who said it. The problem with modern Christianity is that nobody wants to kill us anymore. So, the argument is that if he was a Muslim, he would have been left alone, even though Muslim-based countries still murder people for being homosexual. Well, that's true. I agree, but Canada has a vested interest in not treating Muslim people like that. Let me just be real.
What? I don't know what that means.
What do you mean?
What do you mean Canada has a vested interest?
Well, every Western country has a vested interest in being nice to Muslims. Laser sounds on a guitar are always a good time. Thanks, Mr. Clay. I appreciate it. What it means is that the Muslim lobby is a lot better at cultural blackmail than Christians are, and so Christianity is still viewed as a predominantly white religion in the West, and Islam is not. And so there are a whole bunch of machinations behind that on either side that make it much more difficult to prosecute a Muslim for quote unquote hate speech or disturbing the peace than it would be to do it to a Christian. I mean, that's obvious. On top of the fact that, you know, look, was that lady about 10 years ago? She did the Draw Muhammad Day thing. She had to go into witness protection. You know what I mean? So, I mean, you just got a vested interest in not stirring up that hornet's nest. Happy World Ocean Day. Did you all do good something for the ocean today? Nope. The dude's name is Bouquet Tsunami. Yeah, I know his name. I'm Death fan. Appreciate it, Mr. Bouquet.
Leah.
What?
I did, Pony. I stayed out of it. LOL. Stayed out of the ocean. It's also Best Friends Day. Is it really?
Is it? Sorry, I don't have the patience to type. Would you be doing up for reaction with Blake? Yeah, for sure. With Blake, for sure. Did you participate in any Pride activities, Vin? We handed out water a couple years ago at a Pride activity. Mm-hmm. That was pretty cool because it was hot. Tabby was preggo. Remember that? She was carrying all that water. Mm-hmm. We handed out like, was it 300? It was a lot.
I thought it was like 800.
It was almost.
I thought it was 750.
We were close to 1,000 bottles of water at a Pride event. What are your feelings about...
Honest to goodness, being there, because remember, I was... you guys all kind of had matching shirts, but I kind of went at the last minute, so I didn't have a matching shirt. And then I had a My Little Pony shirt that has, like, rainbows on it and stuff like that. I didn't like. I don't think that I picked the shirt on purpose. It just happened to be what I was wearing.
Oh,
that
the My
day.
Little Pony shirt.
Yeah,
with the,
and
yeah,
then
yeah, yeah,
like, so like everybody was so accepting because they thought that I was there as like part of it instead of like I was there trying to talk to people, but like, I think they just thought that I was throwing in with the whole thing, and it was really cool because like, it was an interesting experience because I was like, I could feel the community that they have because they were like super nice to me, and I was like, everybody should have community like that.
Did you listen to Batushka's new record? I'm not going to talk about Batushka's new record because we've got a surprise for y'all. But I've got to keep that under wraps. What are your feelings about countries banning preachers who advocate for capital punishments against those in the LGBTQ community?
Yikes.
Okay, what do I feel about people advocating for capital punishment? So they're saying we should pass legislation to kill people.
Yeah, but people that are...
But I'm sure they're not going to advocate for fornicators, death penalty for fornicators or pornographers.
Right.
Which is something that is dominated by heterosexuals. We just want to kill gay people. My thing on speech is that if your idea is really terrible, I want you to say it in a public forum so that it can be refuted in a public forum. So I'm not a fan of banning any type of speech. Say all the crazy stupidity you want to say, and then we'll just knock it out in a public forum. It's that simple. I think you have a very, very, very dangerous... You go down a very dangerous path when you start limiting people's speech. You know, which is the whole Steven Crowder versus the... I forgot what the guy's name is. The dude from Vox that's trying to get Steven Crowder, you know, banned from YouTube or whatever.
Soft, Dan. Definitely.
The bouquet tsunami. What is that?
What?
People keep mentioning this bouquet thing.
It's the guy's name. He's trying to change
Right.
his name.
His name is Bouquet Tsunami. Why does he need to change his name? I'm actually formerly known as a slaughtered lamb. What's up? Remember slaughtered lamb? Was that little kid?
Yeah.
The little guy.
It didn't annoy me when you would ask if I was feeling strong. It actually helped me.
Who was?
Honest to goodness.
Who?
XB. I don't know. It's one of the letters things. But he would ask if I was feeling strong, and I liked that. It was different than saying, "Hey, how are you feeling?" And it reminded me that that's true. Like, I should be strong, and that actually helped me a lot whenever you would ask that. It never annoyed me.
Spell that thing.
Huh?
Bouquet. What the fuck?
What is it? Ooh. Somebody said if he looks it up, he's likely to shut down the stream in disgust. As soon as I saw that, I was like, what?
Isn't that slaughtered lamb? How old are you, man?
Oh, is that what he changed his name to?
Yeah, it's that little kid.
He's that young one.
Yeah. That's actually sad to me. Oh, well. That's too bad. I noticed in a lot of your vids the light on the left. So the light on my left is actually my computer.
Yeah.
And then the screensaver comes on, so I have to do that.
It's because we have ghosts. It's really not going out. You're the only one that sees it going out. No, it's the computers. And then they go out and turn them back on.
Yeah. Yeah, it's too bad. But yeah, anyway, like I said, I'm not a fan of limiting free speech at all. What's up, Ryan? Appreciate you, buddy. Any chance the Warriors come back from 3-1 down? Not unless Durant comes back. But if Durant doesn't come back, I think that, Steph Curry got exposed. He's not LeBron. He's not on LeBron's level. And I think that this is priming to solidify Kevin Durant's legacy. If Durant comes back and pulls him out of 3-1 hold, then that's it. Khalas for good. So, yeah. Do. So no, I don't think they're coming back. Are you surprised Tyreek Hill hasn't been disciplined yet? I'm very surprised. He should be out of the league. These dudes who put their hands on women and kids, like,
What happened?
He broke his kid's arm, and then his girlfriend or wife was like, I think his arm is broken. He's like, shut the F up. I'm going to break your arm too. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Dude's,
What did she do?
Well, she recorded him, but.
Oh, that was all recorded.
Yeah. Now, I'm not looking up anything from you guys ever again. How's that? But he's fast. There'll always be a team. Yeah, I know. He's the fastest guy in the league, Tyreek Hill. So he's gonna get a contract anywhere. I think he should be out of the league. It's different to me than what happened with forgot the other guy, but the running back from the same team. I forgot the guy's name. But you break a kid's arm and then you threaten to break the other. You got to go. That's it.
Terrible.
You have to go. Is there anyone saying that whales are not sentient? Who's saying whales aren't sentient? This is way worse than Kareem Hunt. Yeah. I mean, yeah. People are saying that whales aren't sentient? Huh? Should we as Christians move away from traditional pastors and more towards scholars like a Michael Heiser type? I think there's a place for both. I just think that with the information age and the internet, that you're no longer bound to take Pastor Joe's word for it.
Yeah.
There's other things to look at and other things to think through. I remember when I discovered Heiser, that was mind-blowing, but I also remember discovering Kenneth Gentry and Gary DeMar and all these people that were, changed a lot of things for me. So, yeah, I think, your local pastor's important because he takes care of you the best as he can. But as far as learning, obviously, you're no longer bound to only learn from one guy in a 20-mile radius. So I'm going to stop being quiet about the things I care about, like orca captivity. Good. I agree. Yeah. I agree. Animals are smarter than we give them credit for. Yeah, I think that's without dispute. I'm just still bugging out that somebody said that whales weren't sentient. That's crazy to me.
Yeah. I don't like any animals being in captivity.
Yeah, process theology, Dan, which is quasi-heretical to me. But yeah, I mean, that's all there. It's all there.
Try holding him.
The idea that God doesn't know everything and that he's just developing is a crazy idea to me, and I don't understand how people think that that's a better alternative to God's omniscience. I think poachers should be given the death penalty. Yikes.
Whoa.
I don't know about that.
I don't know what do they do for with poachers?
Well, I think Africa has the death, like if you're like hunting like elephant tusks or whatever, like I think you can be killed for that in Africa.
Well,
So,
they would cut the tusks off and just leave the rest of it, right?
I know more than God. Prove me wrong. Ben, you don't even know more than me, much less God, and I don't know much. Good Lord. This video is going to get, something's going to happen to this video.
I know, because he's in
Because
it.
Orion's in it. We should put a
Yeah.
little black thing around it. Thoughts on us needing to care for immigrants? Well, we have a lot of our vets and children in our country who need our help. I feel we have a lot we need to take care of here first.
I'm going to interrupt your thing.
Yeah.
His lip is way out.
Orion.
I think he's tired.
Your father.
But
Poor kid. He doesn't like me. Oh, here is a Christian question I had. If God is omniscient, then we are damned or saved before birth, as he knows every action we will ever make. Well, yeah, sure. I mean, you can't say that knowledge has a causal effect, but whatever you're going to do, God already knows. I know that for sure. How do you think SeaWorld is getting away with all the crap they're doing? I don't know much about SeaWorld.
what crap are they doing? Or is it the fact that they have all those animals?
I don't know what SeaWorld's doing. I think there was a documentary one time about SeaWorld that really got them in trouble. But I don't remember watching it. You and I discussed the concept of God being something that can change and is not entirely omniscient. I totally get why some people prefer it as a concept. Not sure I don't agree myself. Well, yeah, I mean, people believe that, and that's fine if you want to believe that. I'm just saying it's I don't think you can reconcile that with the biblical God. I think that that's impossible. Vin, you're a determinist. Define determinist. All BM fan asked me was whether or not God knew beforehand who was going to heaven and who was going to hell. There it is, Blackfish. No, I didn't watch Blackfish on Netflix. Hey, Vin, thoughts on Bo of the Fifth, whatever. I think he's a very articulate dude. I think he's obviously a brilliant brother, beautiful brother. It's just on the one that Peter tagged me, and I thought he was dead wrong, and I explained why. But I've seen a couple of his other things, and Zonia likes him. So if Zonia likes somebody, they've got to be very smart. So shout out to Bo of the Fifth Column. You should contact Bo, Vin. Why do people always tell me to contact all these people?
It would make for great conversations.
What's going on? Oh, Salah Nasser. If God knows every action that will happen in the future, what is the purpose of praying? God isn't going to change his mind if it's already going to happen. I agree. The purpose of praying is that God uses temporal means to accomplish his eternal decree. So that's why I pray. How can someone so smart be religious? That's one of those, you're really smart for a black guy.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Type insult slash compliments. Thank you very much. Where do you get that, Vin? Where do I get what? Vin, you need to go on the Joe Rogan Experience.
Oh, I agree. I want that so badly. I don't care what state or condition I'm in. If that ever happens, I am going to be there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see any reason why Bo of the Fifth Column would do a collaboration or a debate with me. But I mean, sure. Joe Rogan needs to go on Middle America. That's right.
Yeah.
Go ahead, brother minister. Hey, Vin, you're pretty smart for a theist. Jazakallahu khairan. I appreciate it. Thank you. That's not a fair comparison. Most Christians are stupid as hell. Okay? There's about 2 billion Christians on the planet. Dirk Diggler knows most of them. And he's come back to report that most of us are stupid as hell. Thank you. You're smart for a dumb butt, Vin. Thanks, Ian. I want to see Vin versus Ben Shapiro debate. The only thing I would debate Ben Shapiro on is whether or not Jesus was the Messiah. If God knows everything, why wouldn't he tell me my Instagram password when I was locked out for a week? Good question. Let's say I want churros. If I'm not going to get churros, if I pray to God and don't get churros, nothing happened. If I pray and I do get churros, then what? I don't know, Ben. I mean, prayer is not about transactions for me anyway. Prayer is about a relationship. You know, so I wouldn't want my son to say, why should I talk to you if I'm not going to get what I want every time I talk to you? That would be really hurtful. Sometimes I just want my son to talk to me just because he wants to hang out with me. So that's kind of how I approach prayer. I think, you know, those types of questions kind of, they're good questions, but they tell me that the experiences that I've had with God in prayer are not shared by the person asking the question. Because I've seen people who were not Christians and then, you know, begin walking with Jesus and praying and all that, and then when they talk about their relationship and prayer life, it becomes less and less and less transactional and more relational. And then those questions don't get asked anymore. I'm not saying the question's bad. I get it. I'm just saying experientially, that's how it's worked for me. All people are harmful because people are broken. That is very true. Sharp edges. You would not debate. Yeah, I would debate Ben Shapiro about Israel and how the Israelis are treating Palestinians. That's true. I apologize for disturbing you. Not my intention. I lost a bet and been trying to change ever since. YouTube won't let me. I've got no judgments for you, Slaughtered Lamb. I have no judgments for you whatsoever. It's just, it's, I think all of us have been traumatized by media, and none of us knows it, and we won't find out until the next generation. I'll say it that way. The amount of violence, and I consider pornography a form of violence, that all of us have been exposed to, and the extreme degrees to which it has happened, I think we were not designed to ingest all of that, and I think that it's just sad. That's all. But I got no judgments for you at all, my brother. I've been lucky enough and had enough coincidences to believe in something. I just don't believe the Bible's true. I hear you. I hear you. Concerned about Vox adpocalypse. I'm not concerned about any sort of ad thing on YouTube, because our model was never centered around ads, because we felt like there were a lot of reasons. One of the main reasons was I didn't want to put myself in a position where we were depending financially on YouTube standards for our success, because if you do, then things like this happens. The Vox thing to me is just, I'm sorry, but if you put yourself in the public sphere, then people are going to come at you. People have said crazy racist things to me. They've said racist things about my wife. They've said racist things about my kids. And I don't complain about it, and I don't talk about it much, because we know that. And any YouTuber, people come to me on the side and ask me stuff, and I tell them all the time, like, look, if you're one of these people that bothers you, then don't do it. Because the less popular you are, the less that will happen to you. But the more successful you become, the more that's going to happen to you. So I read his entire screed on Twitter. I have absolutely zero sympathy for him whatsoever. And I think it's terrible that he is trying to essentially blackmail YouTube into deplatforming this guy. But like I said, I'm not a fan of deplatforming anyone. I think Alex, they deplatformed Varg. Varg can't have his... Varg, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, the dude from the black metal band. I watched a bunch of his videos. He wasn't calling for violence or killing anyone. He's a white supremacist, whatever. And that's who he is. He's allowed to have that opinion. He's allowed to say what he wants to say. He didn't say, hey, so and so lives on, Beacon Street in Australia. Go to his house and kill him. He's got a certain perspective. Is it racist? Sure. Is it hurtful? It might be to some people, but I mean, good Lord. So I don't believe in any form of deplatforming anybody. Varg, Farrakhan, any of these people. I think it's crazy, and I think it's really terrible that Vox dude, whatever his name is trying to do that to Steven Crowder. Sorry. The Kearneys. Yeah, I think it's something like that. Crowder was demonetized due to a public backlash to their initial ruling. Okay. I mean, okay. Christians were the greatest artists in the world, and at some point in the 20th century or so, we lost all artistic credibility. What do you think changed? Dispensationalism. I think dispensationalism ruined everything. Do you think someone who doesn't necessarily believe in God yet is a good person can make it into heaven? Absolutely. The problem is that I don't believe there are any good people. That's the problem. Racist needs hugs too. More hugs, less racism. I just don't understand why racism is the cardinal sin. Like, I don't understand it. Why is racism all of a sudden the worst thing on the planet that you could possibly be? I could think of a million things that you could be that's worse than being a racist. And my internet. We're going to tell Sailor to get off the internet. Well. What would you define as a good person? A good person is a person who lives every moment of their life like Jesus. So if you've lived every moment of your life like Jesus, then great, you're a good person. I don't know. I've been accused of being racist more than once, and it's far from the worst thing anyone has ever said about me. So, I mean, yeah, I am not a fan at all of the Vox thing. Why would God slowly reveal more over time? Seems unfair to people living in the past. Well, Greg, the principle is to whom much is given, much is required. So the more knowledge that you have, the more God holds you accountable. So the less knowledge you have, if you react positively to the small light God has given you, then you're good. So I hear what you're saying, but your accountability and culpability actually increases the more revelation you have. I walk in the footsteps of Sokar and Osiris, which is admittedly awkward in this day and age. True. Would you consider yourself a good person? No. No, I'm not a good person. Like me, Vincent by himself? No, not a good person. I'm not. Why aren't apologies not seen to be expected by the public eye? Say that a different way, because I don't know what that means. What does that mean? Why aren't apologies not seen to be expected by the public eye? That's an interesting theory, but I'd like to know where it's supported in the Bible. Where what's supported in the Bible, Greg? Can I share one thing about slavery? Go for it, Death Fan. It's open. It's open day. Everything's open. We can talk about anything. I'm like 60 to 70% on board with preterism, but in general, eschatology is that none of the three main millennial stances are probably right, but Jesus is for sure coming back. Sell me on post-mill. Seth, here's the easiest way to sell you on post-mill. When Jesus gave his disciples the Great Commission, did he send them on a fool's errand or not? That's one of those gotcha questions. Apologies are spat upon in today's society. That is true. That is true. Why do you think some metal musicians are so open to Egyptian gods or Greek gods, but Jehovah is he who must not be named or something? Well, I think a lot of metal, from what I've known in the brief time that I've been here and been schooled on this stuff from the channel, especially from Tina, as far as metal history goes, I think a lot of metal comes from Europe, and European Christianity doesn't have a very good history. I mean, European Christians really, to me, Christianity, the truth of Christianity is buttressed by the fact that the Europeans got their hands on it and there's still a Christianity around. So yeah, I think there's a lot of bad blood, rightly so, between a lot of European indigenous peoples and Christianity. And so when their sons of their sons of their sons start making music, then it's going to reflect that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but wouldn't a good person be someone who does more good than harm? A good person doesn't necessarily mean a perfect or sinless person. Well, if you're defining good the way Jesus defined good, Ian, then it would be, you'd have to be a perfect person. So that's the point of the entire gospel, is that none of us could be a perfect person, but Jesus lived a perfect life on our behalf and then bore the punishment that we deserve for our imperfection. And when we believe in him, we get all of his perfection, and he gets all of our imperfections on the cross. So that's why I said, if there was a good person, then sure, you don't need to be a Christian. No, K2, Christianity in Africa, indigenous Christianity in Africa was awesome. And indigenous Christianity in the Middle East at the beginning of the church age was great. We fed the poor. We rescued babies who were abandoned in the town square. We faced martyrdom valiantly for 300 years of church history. So Christianity has a beautiful tradition in history, and we also have terrible moments in history as well. So one last thing before I go to be comedic. Do you think Jesus hasn't come back yet because the last thing he wants to see is a bunch of people wearing crosses? I think Jesus hasn't come back yet because the church has a lot of work to do on the earth. So we've got a lot of self-correction to do, and then we've got a lot of poor and marginalized people to help and advocate for. And until we start reflecting our namesake, he's not going to come back. That's my belief. Maybe her eyes widened at the flavor and juice. I'm assuming Zonia is talking about Eve. So, yeah. I don't think Jesus was a perfect person. Telling people not to save anything because he was come back to save them wasn't exactly good advice. Jesus never said that, so I don't know what you're talking about, K2. Jesus never said, don't save anything because I'm coming back to save you. Where'd that come from? Vin, answer Dirk. I don't know what Dirk's question is. Are you going to release a Cradle of Filth gig review yet? Soon. Soon. You'll be the first to see it, Ian. You'll get a sneak peek. I don't know who Tom McDonald or Mac Lethal is. Ben. So if I'm an atheist, what does that mean for me, Vin? What does it mean for you in regard to what, Steven? Favorite male rock frontman? Favorite? Jonathan Davis. Jonathan Davis is my favorite frontman. Favorite. Joshua versus Reeves fight. What do you think? Biggest upset all time? No, I think the Buster Douglas beating Mike Tyson was the greatest one. I never took Anthony Joshua seriously. I just thought he was a G.I. Joe, kind of a fitness model, but he didn't strike the type of fear that Mike Tyson did. When I was growing up and Mike Tyson, I mean, forget it. I mean, good night. People were scared to death of Mike Tyson. Who's got better bars, Jonathan or Corey? 3-round rap battle. Oh, I'd give it to Corey. If we base love on 1 Corinthians 13, do you think humans are capable of truly loving anything? Yeah, I believe that. I just think it's a matter of degrees, patient, kind, Can we do it all the time, 100% of the time? No. But I think we can do it in increasing degrees, for sure. Who are you telling to get on Skype? Yeah, Ronnie James Tio. Yeah, I mean it doesn't mean I don't mean that Jonathan is like the greatest vocalist of all time. Blah blah blah. I just mean, for me, Jonathan is the greatest frontman of all time because I'm emotional. It's an emotional decision. So yeah, okay. So what's his face is telling me to get on Skype. I think I deleted Skype. I did. Let me re-download it. Nergal, I'd have to say, is one of the greatest. When I saw him, he was sick. He had a cold, and he had some like throat infection or something. But they were amazing live. Amazing live. Much love to you, Ian. Do you think Paul was a fan of boxing since he mentions it? Yeah, I think Paul had seen a couple of those games. Paul was a really cultured dude. That's why he's able to quote on memory, pagan poets, etc., and use it in such a way as to be compelling in the context of where he was. Paul was a world-class dude. So yeah, I believe that Paul saw those a bunch of times, for sure. Let me see. Vin and Sori. Next. Enter a valid Skype address. Sori@gmail.com. Let's try that. Not com. And enter password. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I just give everybody my password. Change your theme. I don't want to. I want to change my theme. I don't want Skype to access all my contacts. Yes, you can access my microphone. Sure, you can access my camera. And MDef fan is trying to call me. And that. Okay. Everyone log in a Vince Skype account. How dare you? Hey, what's up, buddy? What are we talking
So
about?
what it,
Hello?
dude? What's going on, man?
What's going on with you, big homie?
All right, give me a second here.
Okay.
Here. I'm talking about slavery. That's what I want to talk about.
Okay, talk to me. What about slavery? What about slavery, bruh?
All right, give me a second. I'm going to mute this because I'm hearing your.
Buy me a pack of cowboy killers. What is a cowboy killer?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
All right. Hey, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me? M Death fan.
I can't.
Am I on mute?
Shit. That's bullshit.
He's so funny. No patience. Okay, can you hear me? M Death fan. Hello.
Yeah, your internet sucks.
My
Are you
internet
on, like,
sucks?
6 or what?
Who are you talking to, bro?
I have no faith.
Okay. BM fan is censoring him. Yeah, BM fan, you just censored M Def fan. You guys remember the time that BM fan and M Def fan like were together on a show? That was pretty crazy. Velvet ants are crazy. Yeah, my internet is awesome right now. We're doing really good right now. Wait, what happened? Overshadow Sean, what did he do? What happened? Try to talk up to a black man about slavery and the internet freaks out. Yeah, I know. I know. It's just a matter of time. I started after 9 p.m. It works fine. If I try to do it like around prime time, 7, 8 o'clock, forget it. And they told us by January they'd have the fiber thing. So lots of fun that was. All right, so he's going to try to call me back. Can you hear me?
Oh, you goddamn right I can hear you. What's going on, man? I missed you.
I missed you
I missed
too.
you, man.
I missed you, buddy.
Yeah. You got an extra kid.
I know, right? What's up with that?
You got no sleep. I know this.
It's true.
But you beat me. You beat me. Actually, you're right. The channel did not go dark forever. It went dark for a little bit, but not forever. But I understand. So I have a couple kids that are really young, and it's just it eats at your soul, man. It like never stops every day. Wake up at 7 or 5 a.m. or 3 a.m. or 2 a.m. You know, all these people talking about abortion, they don't know what the hell is going on. They have no idea what it's like to have a kid and like have to deal with the day-to-day and the diapers and all that shit. Anyway, what's up, Cole? I miss you, fam. I'm sorry. I'm just babbling.
So what's up, bro? You had a thought about slavery.
Yeah, I want to talk to you about slavery.
Okay.
I want to blow your mind. Are you ready?
Go for it.
Okay. So we're talking about the transatlantic slave trade, right?
Uh-huh.
All right, so this is between the 17th and the 19th century, right?
Yep.
So tell me, what years was that? If you know how the years work. It's the it's like
16 to 1800s.
This is why I love you, bro. This is why I love you. So between that time, 12.5 million Africans between that time, the 17th and 19th century, were taken from Africa to we'll just say the West for now. Are you ready?
Okay.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I know where you're going, but go ahead.
Okay. This is why I love you. So of that time, right? Of that 12.5 million African slaves that were taken from Africa to the West, 10.6 million survived the passage, right?
Yep.
Okay, it's sad, right? I'm not advocating any of that. Any of you listening, you motherfuckers, I'm not advocating any of that. Okay, so let's take that number, 10.6 million over 200 years, right?
Yep.
Okay, so how many United States?
Say again?
How many of that 10.6 million that survived the passage made it to the United States?
I don't know. 1 million?
388,000.
Okay.
So where did the rest of them go?
Arab Muslim countries.
No.
Where'd they go?
Central and South America. Why are we considered the racist people? Who had the most slaves? I mean, this is when you look at this staggering statistic, you have to change the entire way you think about America and racism. 388,000 people made it to the United States.
I don't see how that. How does that follow?
Okay, I'm gonna share with you a link here.
Here.
You need to read this, man.
MDF fan, let me ask you a question. Me and you
Ask
rob a
me a
bank,
question.
right?
Wait, me and you what?
Me and you rob a bank, right? It's $10
Okay.
million. It's $10 million. You make out with 9 million. I make out with 300 grand, right?
Sure.
I get arrested. I say, why are you arresting me? They said, because you robbed the bank.
No, bro. No.
Wait, hold on.
You're not listening. Go ahead.
Hold on, let me finish.
Sure.
They say, you're a bank robber. I say, no, I'm not a bank robber. MDef fan has 9 of the million. I only have 380 grand, so I'm not a bank. You got to rethink this entire bank robbery stuff.
Oh, brother, I've thought this through many times, way more than you, and you're just listening to the statistic here, and you're reacting to it. I'm telling you, through 200 years, 12.5 million African slaves.
Hold on, MDef fan, hold on.
From Africa.
Hold on. Just tell me what your premise is. Maybe I'm misunderstanding. What is your premise? What's the nugget of what you're trying to say?
What I'm saying is that history that's taught in American schools is bullshit.
Okay.
And that people don't understand that slavery and war has been around forever.
You don't think people know that?
No, I don't.
People are
dumb as fuck.
Nobody knew.
Wait. People are like idiocracy, man. I mean, we live in idiocracy. I've told you this before. It's funny, but it's sad. It really is sad. We live in idiocracy. People don't understand anything. They have no, real facts to be able to have an argument like you and I could have. Right? Do you believe that?
No, I don't believe that. Most of the people I've run into have some semblance of an understanding that racism and slavery was not invented by white people. But I just don't understand the point that you're making.
Okay, so simply is this. It's that 12.5 million Africans between 17th and 19th centuries. Some 10.6 million survived the infamous Middle Passage across the Atlantic. Here's the issue. All the 10.6 million that survived the infamous Middle Passage across the Atlantic, 388,000 people came to North America. Where did the rest of them go?
Right, we've already established that, but what does that prove?
No, that's huge. That's huge.
Well, it looks like it's huge to you because it's the first time you've heard something like this. But
I've not heard this. This is the first time you've heard this. I'm telling you that
the Arabs have been enslaving Africans since the inception of Islam. But what's your point?
What I'm saying is that we are in America, in the United States of America, the North America, are supposed to sit there and think about that. There's so many racist white people in America. When you look at the history of it, it's such bullshit. When you talk about 388,000 people that made it to the United States, we call it North America. But where did the rest of the 10 million people go? They went to Central America and they went to South America. Nobody calls South Americans racists. Nobody calls Central Americans racists.
Who is nobody?
But we sit here and talk about
who is nobody.
The mainstream, bro. I'm telling you, the mainstream.
Well, I don't care about the mainstream. Are you saying that your forefathers weren't racist for participating in the transatlantic slave
Not
trade?
at all. I came from Ireland, so I don't even know what you're talking about. My ancestors worked in fucking unbelievable, terrible working conditions. Just
But
like
what are you,
you know,
so I'm still failing to see the point. So the fact that other people committed atrocities means that the atrocities that were committed in America are not atrocities?
no, I just think that history is not taught properly in the world. Another. You can actually tie this to World War II as well.
Well, wait a
When people
second.
talk
Stop
about,
right there. Stop right there.
go ahead.
So
Stop me.
if I was a German, right, and I said, yeah, I mean
I am German.
we killed 6 million people, but I mean Stalin and
Huh.
them, I mean it's up to like 100 million.
When
So why
people
is
talk
everybody-
about white racism in the United States of America, right? It's unbelievable that most of the slaves that were taken from Africa, we're talking about like literally 388,000 of 10.6 million came to the United States. Where did the rest of them go? Do you understand that? Do you know what you're talking about when you're talking about people? Like, look, you have to understand this part. I'm going to link you right now.
I'm deaf fan.
Dude.
What are you trying
Go
to
ahead.
I still don't understand what you're trying to say. Are you saying that
Okay.
because Americans didn't participate as much as other countries did, as much as the Arabs and the Central and South Americans?
No. I'm talking about Central and South America. Do you understand how? If you want to like talk about people that rip on people from America, like from North America, being racist slave owners.
Well, they were.
Okay, fine. 388,000 of 10.6 million people
So
came
I'm
to
still,
North America.
What is your
Where
point?
did the rest of them go?
What is your
So
point?
Why aren't you talking about Mexicans being racist or South Americans being racist?
Because I'm not in Mexico or South America, and I'm not experiencing racism in those places.
Amazing.
I'm experiencing racism in America.
Oh, you are.
Yeah.
You with your channel that's doing great.
What does that
I mean,
have to do with anything?
I'm telling you, dude. Look. The people don't understand history.
Are you saying?
Look,
hold on.
I'm a student of history, and I understand
You're a
and
student
I
of history.
research true history, and I really understand what's going on. Like, look, you can look into it and you can research it for yourself. Don't get all emotional, bro. I'm just telling you.
I'm deaf fan.
12.5 million Africans.
I'm deaf fan. You seem very emotional about this topic, and you get emotional every time race comes up.
Because you're so wrong.
What I'm trying to figure out from you is, what is your point?
Is that people don't understand true history. They don't. They're stupid. They live in an idiocracy where it's literally knee-jerk reaction bullshit.
Okay.
They're not actually looking into the real facts.
So the Central Park 5, that's just bullshit. What happened to those kids?
The what? Sorry, go ahead.
The Central Park 5, that was just bullshit. What happened to them?
We're talking about a scale of millions here.
Well, hold on. We're talking about racism in America. Do you know who the Central Park 5 are?
No, I don't even care. We're talking about millions of people here.
Okay, and Bethan, that's the issue. That's why you're the way that you are.
Go ahead.
That's
Go
why.
ahead.
So what happens? Here's what happens. We tell you, hey, we're being treated unjustly here. People are treating us unjustly and denying us justice. And then you come along and say, hey man, hey, there are a lot more slaves in South America than in here. So who cares?
We're talking about
I don't care where the Central Park 5 are. Fuck
90%
those
more.
guys.
Okay, go ahead.
Who cares about those
90%.
guys?
Okay, so fuck those people. Those aren't people. Those aren't children of God. Go ahead.
No, I'm deaf, fan. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, it seems this is just more fragility on your part. That you can't deal with any criticism of America. You have to point to.
Neither can you. Look what you're doing. You're fucking knee-jerk reaction. I'm telling you, 12.5 million
I don't have a
Africans between the
knee-jerk-
17th and 19th century.
I'm deaf, fan.
I'm sorry, bro. I got you here.
I don't have a
And you're just-
knee-jerk
go
reaction
ahead.
to this. Where is my knee-jerk reaction?
I'm telling you, 12.5 million Africans between the 17th and 19th century.
Okay.
Some 10.6 million survived the trip. So we're talking about 2 million people that died in the trip itself.
Right, but
And when you look in the history of Africa itself, look,
where are
it's
you and I disagreeing?
Where are you and I disagreeing? I'm saying that
Where's the disagreement?
388,000 of 10.6 million that survived the infamous Middle Passage across the Atlantic.
But where are we disagreeing? What are we
came to the
disagreeing
United
on?
States of America.
Okay, MDF fan, listen to me.
So
What are you and
Mexicans are
I
racist.
disagreeing on?
Central Americans and South Americans. Most of them went to Central America. And where did you come
MDF
from?
fan, MDF fan, stop for 2 seconds.
Got it.
I need you to tell me what you and I are disagreeing on.
I would say racism in America is such bullshit. It's a way to tear apart this country and make it so that you and I, looking at each other eye to eye, because I wish I was with you eye to eye, we're looking at each other eye to eye. We're like, you know what? You're my countryman. I don't care what color you are. I don't give a shit. I don't care about that. You're my countryman. I'm literally willing to lay down my life for you in defense of your family.
Okay, very good. MDF fan, hold on for a second. When you say racism is bullshit in America, what does that mean?
I would say that to the degree that it is propagated through the current American media.
Okay, summarize that for me.
Summarize that to me. So ABC, NBC, CBS, MSNBC, BBC, pretty much 90-something% of the American media that's pumped into the ignoramus that is Americans today.
So you're saying black folk and white folk were completely equal in America? We're treated equally?
No, but the Civil War happened, and how many people died in defense of that?
Okay.
How many white men died?
MDF fan.
Whoa.
600,000.
No, it's my turn to ask a question. How many white men died?
I just told you 600,000.
So 600,000 white men died to stop that,
wasn't
right?
all white men, you know that.
Okay. So what's the percentage then?
But
I'm just saying what I'm trying to reach through the monitor and tell you is that.
Hold on. Are you saying racism ended at the Civil War?
No.
Okay, when did racism in America end and we're all in this magical utopia you're talking about?
I'm telling you that of all the people that were taken from Africa, a slight little percentage made it to American soil.
Just 380,000 human beings.
Of 10.6 million. Of 10.6 million.
You know who you sound like, MDF fan? You sound like these Planned Parenthood people that say.
Well, you sound like someone that doesn't understand math. I'm sorry.
Let me give you the argument.
I love you, bro. First of all, I love you, bro. I miss you.
I love you too, but listen, I'm trying to help you think critically. You're like those people in Planned Parenthood that say 99% of abortions happen in the first trimester.
Don't put me in the fucking side of Planned Parenthood.
You're making the exact same argument.
No, but you're not.
Say back to me what my argument was. MDF fan, say back to me what I just said.
You're not addressing simple math. I'm telling you, 10.6 million survived the infamous middle passages across the Atlantic. 388,000. What is the percentage of that?
MDF fan.
Oh, God.
If we're going to talk, we got a dialogue, right?
You have to answer my questions, too. That goes both ways.
Well, I've been answering your questions.
No, you haven't.
But when I made the comparison to Planned Parenthood, what point was I making?
Okay, what about my point? You have not.
Can you say back to me what point I was making?
Look, fuck my point, right? Okay, so you know what? Fine. Fuck my point.
I didn't say that.
That's what you're telling me.
You're really emotional right now, bro.
I'm emotional.
You are.
I'm asking you to address a simple factoid of 10.6 million people that survived the passage.
I'm not disputing anything.
Not even like 3.8. Look, 3.8 million of those people came to the United States.
And Death Fan,
over 10 million people came to, over 10 million slaves came to Central America and South America. Why don't we call them racists? Why don't we call them racists?
And Death Fan.
They held slaves.
And Death Fan.
Go ahead.
They are racists. You get there's no issue there. Now, please answer my question.
Nobody talks about that, though. Nobody talks about that. Can we agree?
Well, we're not talking about it because we're in the United States of America.
I'm talking about it.
And Death Fan, what other people... You know what happens when my kids come to me, right? And I say, Dorian, why does your brother have a black eye, right? And he says to me, well, the kids across the street, he punched his brother in the eye. You know what I'm going to say to him?
No.
I don't give a damn about the kids in the street. I care about what's going on in our house, right? Because I'm accountable for what happens in my house, right?
Are you talking about your family, like your home domicile, like what's going on in your family under your purview? I understand that.
Right. So if my son...
Like, first of all, hold on. Do you think I'm a racist person?
Probably.
Do you think
Probably.
Really? Do you think I'm that?
Probably, sure.
All of all the conversations that we've had,
So
I've laid it out, dude. You think that I'm a racist person? I'm a
Luke,
fan of yours.
I'm Death
I give
Fan.
you
I'm
money.
Death Fan.
You think I'm a racist person?
I'm Death Fan. You got to understand.
Oh my god.
You asked me a question. Let me answer the question for you, okay?
Sure, go ahead.
Racism is what happens when sin interfaces with power. So I don't think it's possible, for example, for a man not to be a chauvinist unless he actively works against it. Because we're in a position of power, and unless you actively work against it, sin is going to interface with that and create a chauvinist. So I know for a fact, on the one hand, I consider myself a feminist, but on the other hand, I know that I probably have some blind spots of chauvinism due to the fact that I'm a man with a sinful nature. Do you believe you have a sinful nature?
We are born with a sinful nature. You never had to teach a child how to be bad.
Okay. So then, are you saying that it's impossible that you with a sinful nature in a position of power in a given society couldn't get corrupted in that way? That's impossible.
We are all human beings that are infallible. And we
agree
all
with you.
are we all
you.
sin.
I agree with you.
So what are we talking about? We talking about people as colors? Talk about the most dehumanizing thing you could ever call a person is a color. I'm going to put you in a category and say you're a color.
No, I don't think that's not the most dehumanizing thing at all.
I call bullshit on that.
I mean, the Bible calls people by their color. So that's not the problem. The problem is the words around it and the cultural imports that you put into it.
What I'm talking about, honestly, dude,
but Death Fan, hold on for a second.
My guy. I'm telling you, what I'm telling you is that history is a little bit different than like when we talk about how World War II started or how World War I started. It's interesting. It's like Braveheart. It's like history is written by those who have hanged heroes. So it's important to think about that when we talk about people. Now, I don't hate you because of the color of light that reflects off of your epidermis.
Yeah,
I hope that I've shown that by now. I hope that I've shown that by now that I'm not like that.
That's not what racism is, though.
But come in, who are you to define that?
And Death Fan, when I talk to you about the Central Park Five and you just dismissively say, "Fuck, I don't care about those people," well, it matters to me because I've got a son that age.
I'm talking about the overall arching transatlantic slave trade that happened for 200 years. Where 12.5 million Africans that were sold by Africans, the ones that won the wars in Africa. Right? Wait, hold on. It's not a black and white issue. It's gray, because human beings are not.
No, it's a black and white issue. It's pretty black and white.
No, it's not. No, you're totally brainwashed.
No, I'm not brainwashed.
Yes, you are. I'm sorry. You're gonna flail.
How about you ask me what I mean instead of making assumptions?
Because I'm telling you, because history is not like that. It's not It's not that black and white.
Sure.
And anyone that believes that
was Hitler a bad guy? Yes or no?
Absolutely. But
is that a black and white issue, or is that a little bit gray?
What's that?
Is that gray?
But you're sitting there talking about how Israel is terrorizing Palestinians, right? Am I right?
Can you answer my question?
I answer your question.
So Hitler is a bad guy. There's no gray about that. That's just straight black and white.
Why did that happen?
Okay, then you're brainwashed.
Research history. No. You're telling me that I have to believe a black and white issue. It's not. It's bullshit. Because you know why you want to.
No, dude, but you just said Hitler was a black and white issue, so you must be brainwashed.
No, I'm telling you that. Why did that happen? Why did World War II happen?
Death Fan, you see what I just did?
I did. I see what you just did. You did nothing that was significant importance.
Took the same silly template that you use and used it in a different form.
Dude, I love you, but you're so wrong here, dude.
Okay, well, I don't even know what we're disagreeing about, but Death Fan, when I talked about my son and I gave that metaphor about my son, what was I trying to illustrate with that?
Explain yourself. Go ahead.
So when I said, "Hey, you gave your brother a black eye," right? And then my son, instead of taking accountability for it, points to another family in another house and says, "Well, they give black eyes over there too." And I say, I don't care about what they did. We're in this house, so you have to deal with what you did. Is that good or bad parenting?
What the fuck are you talking about, man? I'm talking about the overall arching of slavery in the world sense. Like, this has been going on for a long time. And beyond black people, beyond white people, Israelites were slaves. How many? Okay,
and Death Fan,
do you understand history?
And Death Fan, if we're not going to talk, if we're not going to dialogue, there's no reason to have the conversation, right?
Okay, go ahead. Run it.
Okay.
Ask it again.
Well, it's my show. But if I talk to my son, he gave his brother a black eye yesterday, right?
Okay, your son punched somebody else in the face.
He punched his
and
brother.
Gave him a black eye.
He punched his brother in the face, gave him a black eye.
Okay.
And I confront him. I say, Dorian, how could you do that to your brother, right?
Okay.
And then he points next door and says, or he brings up Chicago. He says, Dad, in Chicago,
Where I live, by the way. Where I live. Go
dudes
ahead.
are killing each other out there. Why are you coming after me about a black eye, right? And I say, well, we're not in Chicago. We're in this house, and you're accountable for the black eye you gave to your brother. Is that good parenting or bad parenting?
You know what? Here's the thing. I'm never going to assume that you're not being a good parent. I know you're a good parent. I know you're a good parent.
No,
that has nothing to do with what I'm talking about.
I'm just asking. If my son tries to bring up Chicago to deflect from the fact that he punched his brother in the eye.
What a weird, like, first of all, I live here, and that's the strangest thing. You're in Maryland, and your son's talking about Chicago for punching it. I'm sorry, I don't understand the
just please. Well, what's happening is I'm trying to hold him accountable for attacking his brother, and
which you should.
And instead of taking accountability, he wants to deflect to a worse situation. So if I say, well, we're not in Chicago, we're in this house, and you're responsible for what you do in this house, is that good or bad parenting?
On the macro level, I would say it's fine.
That's
you
good,
can do whatever
right? And isn't it true that my son bringing up Chicago is simply him deflecting responsibility for what he did?
No, because if you're trying to compare the two, I'm talking about history.
Can you answer my question?
I'm answering your question.
Okay.
I'm talking about history, which you obviously don't know. I'm sorry, brother, you don't know history.
Can you
when
answer
it comes
my
to
question?
this.
Can you answer my question, MDeath fan?
Go ahead.
Isn't it true? Isn't it true that him bringing up Chicago is just him trying to deflect from what he did?
Yeah, it's like a child. It's a kid issue.
I agree.
That's what kids do all the time.
I agree. I deal with it every day. I agree with you 100%. You're absolutely.
I'm not.
Right.
Look. I'm not trying to say this as a way to I've always told you from the beginning we talked. I want us to come together. I want us to understand each other, and I don't care what people say in the comments. I don't give a shit about that. I'm just trying to talk about history. And it's very hard to understand and to try to disseminate all the shit that comes at you. We live in Sodom and Gomorrah, man. We really do. We really do.
I agree. I mean, you got Trump not welcoming foreigners. I agree.
That's well, why the hell should we? We have a broken Congress, and we have people coming in here and abusing.
And
whoa. Let me speak for a second.
You brought up Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah.
And that was the sin of Sodom and Gomorrah. They didn't welcome the stranger.
Okay, so everybody should come in and then we should pay for them? How is that going to work as a country?
And Death Fan, all I'm saying is if you're going to bring up Sodom and Gomorrah, then we need to talk about the sin of Sodom and Gomorrah.
Which is what? Anal sex?
No, there was no anal sex in Sodom and Gomorrah, but there was a lot of animus
what we call it
stranger.
Sodomizing? I mean, what are you talking about here?
And Death Fan, what does the Bible say is the sin of Sodom in Ezekiel?
In Ezekiel? Man, I have to look that up. I don't remember, but I remember that
she was
just
full of pride. She didn't care for the poor and needy.
There were no people that were there that were worth saving at that point, which is on God, really, not me.
No, and Death Fan, listen very closely. Ezekiel says that the sin of Sodom was that they were haughty, they were proud, they didn't welcome the stranger, and they neglected the poor and the needy. And so God destroyed them. That's what Ezekiel says about Sodom and Gomorrah. You brought up Sodom and Gomorrah, not me. I'm just saying I'm agreeing with you. We are in Sodom and Gomorrah because we treat the foreigner terribly.
I'm talking about slavery. I'm talking about what people think about slavery.
I know, and just like my son,
I think that people don't understand shit about it.
You are doing exactly what my son did, which is deflecting to a worse case to justify or minimize the atrocity that was committed here.
Dude, I love you, but you're so wrong here. I'm not your son, first of all.
That's okay.
I'm your age.
You're getting,
and I know a lot. I know a lot about them. I'm telling you, dude.
You're too emotional.
I'm emotional.
You
so
are.
You're not emotional?
Because I didn't say you were my son. I was making a comparison.
It's terrible. I'm sorry. I'm just terrible.
How is it terrible? Tell me the logical flaw in the connection.
I'm not your son. I don't know what the hell is going on in your life. I have no idea. I'm talking about slavery and the slave trade, the transatlantic slave trade that happened in the 17th and 19th century. I'm talking about 10.2 million people that came across that survived of the 12.3 that made it to the West. Of that, 388,000 only made it to North America. And we have all this bullshit talking about slavery in what happened about Central America, what about South America. Brazil had a huge amount.
What about Chicago?
Don't you speak patois? Speak patois?
You're right. I should have never punished my son because people are getting shot in Chicago.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I know because you're not listening.
You don't get it.
No, you don't get it. You're not listening because you're too emotional.
So are you.
No, I'm not emotional about this at all. I've dealt with this my entire life. I deal with this all the time. I'm not emotional, but you are because you're not listening.
I'm crying. I'm sitting here crying about it. Okay, go ahead.
No, there's nothing wrong with being emotional, but sometimes it'll impede your critical thinking skills.
Says you, brother. I'm sitting here trying to. I don't care what people say.
What is the point that I'm making, MDef fan? Tell me the point that I'm making.
What's the point that I'm making? First of all,
the point that you're making is you're saying, this is what I'm hearing from you. Why is there so much about racism in America and nobody's talking about racism in Central South America and Arab countries who participated way more in the transatlantic slave trade than America did? Is that pretty much what you said?
When we live in a country where people say people of color is somehow a political power?
Okay, so did I characterize what you said properly?
No.
Is that right? I'm way off.
Yes.
Okay, so tell me again what point you're making.
I am saying that people that use people of color and all the bullshit that comes with race in this country, instead of looking at people, I look at you as a fellow American. You're a countryman. And you have a brother in the Marine Corps. You understand what I'm talking about. I'm saying that is where we need to be. Instead of being divided, like we are getting ripped apart in this country. That's not going to be survivable in 20 years. I'm telling you, dude, it's not going to be survivable. Shit's going to change. And you know what's going to happen when things change? Dude, I'm telling you, I pay attention to geopolitics, and we are seriously in a different world in 10 years. That's not going to be, like, I have no idea what's going to happen with my sons and my daughters in 10 or 20 years. I don't know what's going to, but I'm telling you, people in the comments, I don't give a shit if you believe or you understand me or not. You know, it's going to be significantly different than what you used to. So what I'm saying is that, look, we're getting ripped apart internally. A house divided falls. Can you understand that? Like, it's what's happening.
Okay, so you're saying...
We don't look at each other as countrymen anymore. We look at each other as colors. It's stupid. It's fucking stupid. Okay.
When has America looked at me as an equal, MDef fan?
I'm looking at you as an equal.
I'm asking you about America.
I'm telling you that I'm looking at you as an equal.
I don't give a damn what you think, MDef fan.
I don't give a shit what you think either.
What I care about, though, is the ability to vote, the ability to not be mass incarcerated. I'm asking you, when has America treated black people as equals?
No.
Isn't it true? Isn't it true that we've had to fight for basic rights our entire tenure in this country?
I absolutely believe that there was a time that actually had to, the civil rights movement had to happen. I believe that. Absolutely. And also
literally every basic right that we've had to have, we had to fight for it and die for it. Isn't that true?
Yes, when many people have died for it, including white people. Which you would consider, the funny thing about white people is that people put white people into a certain box. And like, it's the dumbest thing ever. Like, what? You know what? There are Spanish white people. There are Italian white people. There are Danish white people. There are German white people. Do you understand what you're talking about when you say white people?
I didn't say a thing about white people. I just asked you.
I don't think people do. I don't think people. No, I'm saying the general population.
Okay.
Turn it on. Watch BM fans.
Bro, we've got to talk to each other. And let's just stay on a topic. I asked you a question. Please answer it. Isn't it true that literally every single civil right that we have in this country, we had to fight and die for?
From the beginning, from the conception?
Yeah.
When we fucking, stood up to the King of England and we fought them and we died.
Hey, listen. You didn't. You're the originators of the Constitution.
What?
The originators of the Constitution. What were they fighting over?
Oh, tell me, please.
No, well, you tell you know all the history.
No.
Are you trying to make? Wait, I'm deaf fan. Are you trying to make a correlation?
You tell me.
Are you trying to make a correlation?
Tell me what you think it was all about.
Are you trying to make a correlation between the Revolutionary War and the Civil Rights Movement in America? Do you think that those are equivalent issues?
Do you even understand that? Do you even understand the history there?
And Deathfin, are you going to answer any question I have for you at all?
No, man. I'm asking you. You have to be able to respect. You have to answer questions too. You can't just put it all on me, brother.
My brother.
I love you, bro, but you have to be able to answer questions too.
I love you too. Taxation without representation, the 13 grievances. We all know it.
That's it.
What I'm asking you
No, wait, hold on. If taxation without representation was a thing today, we'd be up in arms like no tomorrow. Because we're like way beyond that today.
Okay, Death Fan. Now I answered your question. Now answer mine. Was what was happening during the period of the Revolutionary War equivalent to the black struggle in America? Yes or no?
Black struggle in America.
Yes or no?
What is the question? So the black struggle in America versus what?
The conditions for white people during the Revolutionary War.
What is a white person? What is a white person? Do you even understand what a white person is? No. Answer me first. We have to define what a white person is. What's a white person?
Death Fan. I don't have to do that. Just answer the question.
Yes, you do. No, yes, you do. Because
okay,
I'm not
Death
Spanish.
Fan, this is the last time. If you're not going to
Danish,
answer the question, you got to go.
I'm not German. I'm not Italian. I'm not Irish.
Death Fan, if you don't answer the question, you have to go. I'm going to ask you one more time. If you don't answer, you're out. The conditions during the Revolutionary War, are you saying that those are equivalent to the black struggle in America? Yes or no?
Okay, so dying in a war, in the Revolutionary War.
That's not what I asked you. Let me ask you again. The conditions that led to the Revolutionary War in America, are you saying that that is equivalent to the black struggle in America?
Who the hell would say that?
Okay, so you're saying no.
No. Who the hell would say that? They're completely different.
Okay, good. So then you're admitting that there is an egregious struggle that black people have had in this country.
Absolutely.
Okay, so what point?
I would die for that. I would die to change.
So what point are you trying to say? What is the way forward according to you?
I just think that people in this country are so fucking dumb. Most Americans have our education system in this country is terrible. Dude.
That's why I homeschool.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I don't even know how you. I don't know how you do with 5 kids. By the way, you're something to be. That's amazing. By the way, but I'm saying there's a reason that you do that. I'm just saying that there's a reason that I believe this, and there's a reason that you do that because the education system in this country is terrible. It's terrible. It's so.
That's terrible for black kids too.
So
that's
divisive.
One of the main reasons I don't want my black kids. No, but
it's not even about white and black and colors. It's so stupid to think about people that way.
It is for me. It's easy for you to say.
Well, plant that seed. Think about it for a couple months, and then maybe you might. It's worse than just that.
Maybe if you educate yourself, Deaf Fan, about what's happened in your country for the last 20 years, you wouldn't say.
Well, I'm your age, and I know a lot about that shit. And
you don't know who the Central Park 5 are. Everybody on the planet knows who they are, except for you.
It doesn't matter.
I know it doesn't matter to you, but it matters to me.
How does it matter going forward? Tell me.
Because it happened in 1989. That's why. And these brothers just got out of jail.
I could give you so many examples of censorship going on now.
Death Fan, hold on. These brothers it happened in 1989, and they just recently got out of prison. That's why it matters. What are you talking about?
Oh, my God. Dude, confirmation bias 101. What you think. Confirmation bias 101 is what you think. I love you, bro. But I'm sorry. It doesn't matter that you know a story. It doesn't matter that you know a fucking story. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter to you because it's not going to affect you.
It doesn't matter in general when you have
sons. It affects my sons, though.
But it doesn't affect my sons?
No, it doesn't. Your sons are white.
What does that mean?
It means that they are less likely to have a situation like what happened to the Central 5 happen.
How do you know? My kids are half Assyrian. What are you talking about? You even know what you're talking about, dude?
Give me the historical example in America where something like that happened.
Oh, my God. You don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry. I love you, but you don't know what you're talking about.
You just told me you didn't even know who they were.
It doesn't matter your anecdotal story. It doesn't matter.
It's not an anecdotal story. It's a history of America.
We're Americans. We're supposed to look at each other as that, equals.
I understand that. That's how we.
It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter your story, my brother.
Listen, Death Fan, you're talking about me and you. I'm talking about a system. That's the difference.
Okay, so you can speak with validity on that system. Are you a god? You know enough to be able to speak on that level.
No, you don't
with
need.
authority?
You don't, and Death Fan, you don't need to be God. You just need to just read.
Oh, okay.
You don't need
Then
to
why
be
is there
God.
why is there so much turmoil in the world? I read all the time. Why is there so much turmoil in the world?
Because people.
Why don't we understand each other?
Because people are sinners and they refuse to take accountability for their actions.
We're all sinners. I agree.
I agree.
But why don't we look at each other as countrymen? Why don't we look at that anymore?
My brother, I already addressed that.
We're getting ripped up. This country is getting ripped apart from the inside out.
Death Fan, I'm going to say it again.
Oh man.
Okay? If you're talking
World War is coming.
if you're talking about personal, I'm with you. I'm there. But if you're talking about a system, I completely disagree with you. The system is not going to look at my sons and your sons and treat them equally. I don't know what planet you're on.
What are you talking, man? It's 2019, bro.
So?
What are you talking about?
How long ago was Eric Garner choked to death on the street?
What's going on right now on YouTube? Do you have any idea? I work in big tech. I know. What's going on as far as people getting fucking censored because they have a political opinion? You know what the problem with Google and YouTube is? Is they took $630 million in taxpayer subsidies, and they're sitting there trying to be politically.
Okay, so you're worried about a YouTube channel getting shut down. I'm worried about my kid making it home. That's a difference.
Big tech is ramping up for 2020. If you don't understand that, I'm sorry you don't know. But I work in big tech. I understand that shit.
Did you hear what I just said?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
Say back to me what I just said.
I'm telling you that what I'm saying is that.
Say back to me what I just said.
You said a lot in a short period of time. I'm telling you that your kids are not going to be. Your kids are not in today's world. Your kids are not going to be more. Versus my kids, they're going to be more discriminated against. Are you kidding me? In 2019, are we talking about the same world?
How long ago was Eric Garner strangled to death on the sidewalk?
Dude, I understand that.
So what are you talking about? What magically happened in America between then and now?
We're talking about 330 million people. What are you talking about?
All right.
330 million people.
Okay. All right.
Dude, I mean, I'm telling you, I want to live in a world where that doesn't matter. I don't want to look at you as a color.
We all want to live in that world, Death Fan, but some of us don't live in that world.
Well, you know what you got to do? You got to be like, what's his name? You got to make that your reality. What's that guy's name? The narrator. What's his name? It's like he was asked about racism in America. What's his name? You know.
I don't know what you're talking about. Is he black?
It was Don Lemon talking to what's the famous? I can't think of his name right now. I'm just saying, like, I don't think about that. Like, I don't look at people as colors. It's the stupidest, most dehumanizing thing you could do when you go forward in the future. You can't look at people as colors. It's so dehumanizing.
Okay, looking at people as colors is not dehumanizing.
What your name is.
It's not dehumanizing. I think it's beautiful, actually.
Oh, wait, you're black? You're not black. You're fucking a shade of brown. Am I.
I think the diversity in color is an amazing thing. I don't think that's dehumanizing.
I don't care about that at all.
Being strangled to death, though, at a sidewalk and having no indictments afterward, that could make a person.
I agree 100%. I'm not a fan of the police in a lot of ways.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that you're in a fan.
It's a small percentage of 330 million people.
Yeah.
Because people go POCs.
The problem is,
I don't like the POC thing. It's like, okay, so you're gonna be like, okay, it's a political thing. It's totally politically. It's like black, black and Indian, or like every shade of brown you could think of, and then like red Indian, like American Indians, and it's stupid. It's a stupid way of thinking about people. People are people. You should individually judge them one at a time. Like,
I'm agreeing with you. Who's disagreeing with you?
Transcend that stupid way of thinking that we're all, including you, including a lot of people in the comments, that are stuck on that shit.
Yeah,
you know
well,
what?
it's easy for you to say because you don't worry about your sons getting shot in the street. That's easy for you to say.
Well, what are the statistics on that on a scale of the United States of America? You don't think white people get shot? You don't think that happens?
Hey, listen, my brother, I would encourage you to look at interactions between police and young black unarmed males in the last 20 years.
I agree.
Have you looked at it?
I've seen it, and I understand it. And
okay,
I think that
now pause for 1 second.
I think police should be taught differently.
And Death Fan, stop for 2 seconds.
Go ahead.
So you see it, and you know it, and you're telling me I'm just supposed to just go along as if everything is honky-dory and my sons and your sons are on equal footing in this country.
Not at all. But you know what? I'm gonna school you a little bit. Do you know that I experienced racism growing up in Chicago? You want to know about it? Do you care? Do you want to listen to it?
Sure,
or am I
okay.
full of shit?
Sure.
I'm in Chicago, right? So I'm like going to Von Steuben, which is a school which is like I'm the minority, and I got in a lot of fights just because I'm white. I lived in the. I went to high school during the Dangerous Minds era. Remember that stupid shit where the fucking what's her name had a movie where like she went to the projects that she taught at school. She put a do-rag on and started dancing around. Stupid shit, right? Stupid. But I'm telling you, like I got in a lot of fights because of who I was. I don't know anything about that before my life. I'm just telling you, I got in a lot of fights and I got picked on because I was white, and I got in a lot of fights and I knocked a lot of motherfuckers out because. People, attacked me because of who I was, looking at me superficially.
Is that people in authority and power?
In my life, how would you think that I would look at that?
No, I'm just asking you a question. Were the people
so if a bunch of people jumped me,
hold on,
how would I look at power?
I'm Death Fan. The people that were doing that, they were allowed to do that without any fear of reprisal because they were in complete authority and power.
What the hell are you talking about? I got jumped.
I'm asking you that. Like, could you fight them back?
I fought back because I'm a warrior. You know me. I'm a warrior.
Okay,
I always pushed back.
Very good. My son's a warrior too. Now, what if a police officer begins to assault him and he fights back? What's going to happen to my son?
You should not fight back. You should teach your son not to do that.
What's going to happen to my son if he fights back with that police
officer? You should not do that.
Can you answer the question?
He should not fight back.
He'll get killed, right?
He should not do that. That's the worst.
And Death Fan, you and I are having a dialogue.
Yes,
I'm asking you a question. Can you please answer the question? What will happen to my son if he fights back with that police officer?
Please explain fight back.
Well, the police officer starts putting his hands on him and roughing him up, and my son says, "The fuck are you doing?" and starts fighting back. What's going to happen to my son?
I see this happen all the time. The thing is that you have to relax, man.
What's going to happen to him?
You're acting like all the police officers are white.
Can you answer the question?
I live in a fucking city where like it's not the case.
All right, we got to go.
Are you running? Okay, go ahead.
No, I'm not running. You're not answering questions, and I'm trying to have a dialogue.
Are you acting like all the police officers are white?
Answer the question. Here, I'll answer it for you because you won't. They'll kill him. So you
gotta chill out. You gotta teach your children.
Death Fan, you're so busy trying to make a point that you're not trying to hear what I'm telling you, and that's why this conversation is over. You getting jumped at school is not the equivalent to what a black kid deals with. If you get jumped at school. And Death Fan, if you get jumped at school, you can fight back. If my son gets assaulted by a police officer,
13, man.
Can't.
What are you talking about?
And Death Fan, my son, according to your own admission, cannot fight back, even if he's being assaulted unjustly by a police officer. The first thing you teach your son, the first thing that I taught my son, hold on 1 second, is that you don't make the situation worse. Okay, then,
just chill out.
Okay, so so then your experience in high school is not equivalent to being assaulted by a police officer.
How do you know that?
No, I'm asking you.
My best friend in high school was a black kid. We used to fucking leave and ditch sixth grade every day and go to fucking.
What am I trying to illustrate?
Fried chicken. Go ahead.
Go ahead. What am I trying to illustrate by saying that?
You're just not. You don't. You're trying to set a precedent. You're trying to like explain it in a certain way.
No, I'm not. I'm Death Fan. Stop.
Dude.
You're not listening to me.
You're acting like all cops are.
And Death Fan, you're not listening.
I'm listening to you.
Be quiet for 2 seconds. Listen to what I'm saying and respond directly to what I'm saying. Okay?
Go ahead. Set it up.
You getting jumped in school by a gang of your peers who, as you yourself said, I'm a soldier. I fought back. I fucked a lot of people up. Is not equivalent to a black child being assaulted by a police officer because
shit, they're my best friends.
Goodbye.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Goodbye. Look, I don't care about people disagreeing with me. I disagree with abortion. Everybody knows that. 95% of you disagree with me. But if we're going to talk, we got to have a dialogue. And so everybody heard it. I said, let me say what I have to say in 2 minutes, and then you go. And he wouldn't let me finish. If we're going to talk, we got a dialogue. We got to go back and forth. I don't have a problem doing moderated debates. I don't have a problem with any of that stuff. But We got to talk. All this stuff where we're not addressing things and interrupting is ridiculous. I love you, MDeath fan, but review the conversation, you'll see. Good Lord. I love him. It's my guy, but I mean, we got to have a dialogue. I don't need everybody to I mean, we're all you know, we're not all atheists here. We're not all Christians here. So we're going to stridently disagree. I don't have a problem with disagreement. And you don't have to agree with me on anything. Race is not the most important topic to me. You guys all know what my hot button topic is. It's abortion. But you've seen me handle abortion conversations. But if you're not going to address the actual issues and you're going to sidestep them and ignore them, then we're not having a dialogue. So there's that. Steven, after I get done talking to BM fan, then you can go. Good Lord. Okay, I'm not leaving. Who's on the line?
What's up?
What is going on, BM fan?
Let's just have a nice chat. let's bring everything down. Like, holy shit.
What in the world?
Oh, let's just chill. Let's just have a nice chat about I don't even fucking know. Just something not intense.
How's your band doing?
So we were doing really good, and then my drummer started getting a lot of pain in his arm. He actually just he just got a cortisone shot a few days ago, so he's in a lot of pain right now. But hopefully in like the next 2 weeks we'll get back on it. We got like 5 songs we're in though.
Who are you guys touring with?
We haven't like done anything like that. We
Okay.
we played a show 2 years ago with a pretty big local band, but that was about it.
If you guys get really, really serious, I want to do like a whole promo package for y'all.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So let me hit me up when you're getting really, really serious, so we can do something for you guys.
Sure. Actually, we recruited Damon. He drew us up a logo,
No shit.
and when we finish this record, we're probably gonna actually have him do a cover.
Okay. Yeah, put a package together, get Damon and all that. We'll interview you guys, whole 9 yards. It's gonna be good.
Cool.
And I'll try to. I've got another pretty big idea, but I don't like talking about big ideas until I've got them confirmed. But just let me know when you guys get really, 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 really serious.
Sure. So like right now, like we don't have like anything formally recorded. We kind of have like our own little scratch tracks, which I've kind of shared with people on the Discord. But it's gotten pretty good reception. So
Okay. Good.
it's much better than that EP that you listened to earlier.
How many people have you assaulted this week, BM fan?
No one.
You are one of the people on my short list that I have to meet. I've got a short list that's actually becoming very long. You, definitely MDeath fan. I've got a couple people that I have to meet in the actual flesh.
If we ever get that Mgwab Batushka show and they play in like Boston or something, then you'll probably see me.
Good. You are one dude that I want to like take to Starbucks and talk with for like 18 hours. Seriously. You're one of my favorite human beings. Okay, so what's up, man? What's going on?
I appreciate that. I don't know, like I said, I felt the need to call in and calm things down after that.
Well, it's like I said, it wasn't like the abortion discussion, which is an extremely emotional topic for me. I spent the first half of the conversation being utterly confused, and then
Yeah, like I didn't understand any of the stuff that he was trying to do.
I didn't understand what was going on, and then the last half was all over the place. But,
He was really, really emotional. Like, I mean, I can be passionate, but I don't think I really get like super emotional in that manner.
Well, I mean, if we're talking about issues that are important, like I don't want to be like completely stoic about everything, right? Like we
Yeah.
should be like you know, passionate. You know, I'm definitely passionate, but like my thing is, if we're having a dialogue, it's like ping pong, right? I hit the ball, you hit the ball, I hit the ball, you hit the ball.
Yeah, you answer the questions back and forth.
Yeah.
You have the dialogue. You know, you don't grandstand or go on a monologue or something.
And we've done it. We've disagreed on. As a matter of fact, most of the times that you've called, we've disagreed. You know what I mean? So I love disagreement, probably too much, but good lord, it's all good. Everybody gets one of those. It's a freebie.
I mean, like you know, I know you're not on the Discord, but like I get into, you know, arguments and shit shows constantly in the Discord. Just ask our Kona fan. Me and him go at it almost on a daily basis.
Oh lord, is it about
but
healthcare? You guys go at it about healthcare?
A little bit, yeah. Like anything you can think of, me and Arcona will argue about. Even shit that's like that someone would normally consider like the super minorist thing. Like we'll find a reason to disagree on it.
Oh boy.
But I don't know, it's fun. I mean, it's frustrating at times, but it's still fun.
Yeah.
I enjoy the little debates and things like that.
Okay. So I take it you're not going to the straight pride parade.
No, I am not.
Speaking of emotional, I was emotional in that video yesterday. I don't know if you saw it or not, but I shot a video about the straight pride parade and why I'm not a fan of it.
I think I saw like a small clip, but I didn't watch the whole thing.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being emotional. Being emotional is fine. You know, it's just, hey, it is what it is. I am not ignoring you, Becky. I just have a guest on the phone. What do you want me to do? And you haven't talked to me in a long time either, BM fan, you bum.
Well, I mean, you've been on your break.
I know.
By the way, there's so I
Look at this, bro. Success blacks do not play the artificial victimhood card in case anybody notices. I don't know what a success black is. Do you know what a success black is?
I guess he means rich black people.
Rich black people don't play the victimhood.
I've been seeing this guy posting a lot of like alt-right talking points.
Yeah, I think color is good. We don't have to pretend that color doesn't exist. It's a cool thing, man. It's fun.
Well, I mean, like there's that whole concept of like colorblind racism.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to talk about it, but I just had to do the success black thing. Okay, tell me one band that because there's this guy named Steven that wants to call me. Tell me one band that we have not listened to that we need to listen to.
Have not listened to. Oh, geez. Well, this is tough. Give me like an hour to think about it.
Okay.
And I'll email you back.
Fair.
All right. This is way too sudden.
It's too much pressure.
I gotta actually think about this.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you. Steven's gonna call me now.
Alrighty.
All right, buddy. Love you. Have a good one.
Have a go. Bye.
Who's this? I need. Oh, Lord. Jane's addiction. What's Jane's addiction? The Teed. This guy sounds like a SJW. Are you a social injustice warrior, Giggly? I heard a lot about the Melvins. I think it was during Punk Week, everybody was texting me about the Melvins. Why have you not listened to Death Angel? Hold me closer, Tony Danza. Who's this? Who am I talking to? Steven, you got to call me, buddy. Yo!
Hello.
Who's this?
This is Art Perez from Texas.
What's up, bruh? What's up? Can you hear?
I'm late to the party. I'm trying to figure out where we're at.
I don't know where we're at, man. Everything's going good. What's up with you?
Well, I'm just looking for a topic to speak about.
I think there's this guy Steven that was gonna call me. He had a question, but I don't see him in the thingy anymore. Maybe he got tired of me.
Yeah, just know what was the question?
I don't know. He was gonna call me and ask me. What's up with you?
Must have not been important.
I know, right? So
I heard something, or at least I looked at your deal here, and it said, the subjects: straight pride parade.
What about it?
I'm indifferent with it.
Okay.
I mean, I really don't care too much, other than the huge uproar from the other side. That's all.
Okay.
I mean, I could care less. Like I said, I have family members that are queer, what have you. I love them, still love them, definitely love them. I don't have to agree with their lifestyle. I love them.
I hear you.
I think the big misconception is if you don't like how they live, you hate their total being, which is unfair and it's untrue.
I'm with you.
Right. So, and it just seems like it's so toxic right now that you could say, hey, you're cool, you're this, that's fine. Cool, let's go have a coffee, a beer, I don't care. But if you're going to ask me specifically about how your lifestyle is, I'll say, well, it's your choice. I'm not going to, but for me, I just don't agree with it.
Okay.
And I'll still go to the max with that, person, especially if he's a good dude, good woman, what have you.
I hear you.
I just think all of us. I just think the word bigot, homophobe, it gets thrown so loosely.
It's true.
When you do it like that, for any little thing that they disagree with, it really lessens the meaning of those words.
Yeah, I hear you. It was good catching up with you, Art.
Anything else? What do we got? Bands?
I'm very curious to hear what this Steve guy has to say, so I'm waiting for him to show up.
Okay. I'm not good enough. I see.
Well, it's just that he came with a topic already. All right, much love to you, my guy.
No, I'm just messing with you, man.
Cool.
Hey, by the way, hold on. I went ahead and subscribed to y'all on whatever it was for I think it was $75 a month. Much love for you.
I appreciate the Patreon thing. I appreciate that, my guy. It's definitely very helpful.
I I sent like so much list of songs for you to check out, but I understand you're busy, so.
Sori handles Patreon communique, so those are gonna get picked up pretty soon.
Okay. Well, hey, I appreciate you.
Make sure you send an email though.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, send an email directly, because when we come back, we're gonna catch up on all the Patreon folks first, and then we'll do the
I
other stuff.
understand. I mean, there's a lot of songs on there, especially with Chris Cornell. Some things that I really think that you would like, just because his voice is so crazy awesome. But.
Yeah, Chris Cornell is one of my favorite vocalists. I just don't get to listen to him a lot.
Oh, real quick, say hello to Heaven.
Yep.
I know background from that. If you haven't researched it yet.
Okay. Include that in the email.
Okay. That way I can let other people talk.
Cool. All right, bro.
Because you're almost on it. It's pretty close. But it has good history on it. But all right, man.
Much love to you, buddy.
All right, man. Peace out. Keep going.
Trying.
All right. Bye-bye now.
Shout out to Clinton. Must be very hard for you. All the discrimination you're dealing with, Clinton. You'll make it, though. You'll be all right. Web Week. I am not completely against making Web Week happen. Let me just say it that way. I'm not completely against it. But there's like this 1 hour song that I've been very intrigued by since it came up. So I'm trying to find a way to get that published. Steve Schwerden, I think his name is. Hurry up and call before my phone dies, bruv. Because I'm at like 9% right now. There he is. Steven Swerden. What's up, bruh?
I'm a Middle American version. Can I do that?
You're coming in a little bit muffled.
Sorry about that. This is the first time I'm on the show.
Oh, it's the first time you're on the show?
Yeah.
Okay, what's up?
So, I've got all kinds of questions. I don't know where I'm going to start. But here we go. So, how was your day?
Say again?
How was your day?
Bro, you're like extremely distorted right now.
That sucks. It really sucks. I wish I knew why.
I can't hear you at all, bro.
You shush. And just going in that sports. If you wanna call it, it's good. We can be done.
I cannot hear you right now. I was really looking forward to talking to you, Steven, but it looks like we're gonna have a hard time talking. Sorry. Charlie Brown. Is Vin talking to Russians? And the phone just died. Good Lord. Come back. Baby, come back. Well, anybody can call in. It's just the phone is dead. Okay, guys. Much love to everybody. Thank you guys for hanging out. It was very fun. Have I ever watched the show Lucifer? No. I have not watched the show Lucifer. This was way too long. Vin needs to buy a chart. Do the 1 hour song. If you do a reaction to it, so will I. Oh yeah, Chris, don't you have a channel? So I've Blake X has a channel. I think it's called Nuclear Reactions, I think is the name of his channel. Support that. Zonia has a channel about bees. And then Chris Black has a channel. I forgot the name of his channel. But anyway, go to those channels and check them out. We gotta support village channels. And if you watch a video from a villager, Blake X or whatever, like I'm not gonna tell you what to do, but retweet it, re-Facebook it, spread the word, because I think it's important. Zonia's got the bees, all that jazz. Speaking of bees, I bought some honey from, I'm trying to get on this health food kick, and I bought some honey from, I think it's Australia or New Zealand or whatever. It tastes weird, but it's supposed to have like health food, whatever. So, there you go. Web Week. Attention, marijuana is not a harmless weed. I recommend you stop daily use of it. Who's doing that, Clinton? Clinton, you're who's doing that, Clinton? Okay. Doesn't Rivers' wife have a reaction channel? Seems to recall seeing it. Yeah. So we gotta get on reacting, and hopefully I can. Hey, Tina Banks, you missed a good one. You missed, what do they call those? A barn burner or whatever. So anyway, I think I gotta get out of here. It's 1:00 Eastern time on my side of the aisle. If you see the big homie MDev fan, make sure you shower him with a bunch of love and acceptance and unconditional village compassion. But I think I gotta go now. We definitely need to do these more often, that's for sure. A dumpster fire fan. Yeah, a dumpster fire. But hey, we got educated, right? But anyway, I gotta get out of here. I should start a reaction channel. Won't talk. You have to figure out my reaction based on my body language. That would be funny. When is the next stream? I'm gonna go for the next 3 days. We learned about white oppression. Yeah. Shout out to all my white folk who are having a hard time in America. We'll stick together and keep your head up. We'll make it out. We'll make it through. But I want to do this. I want to say, like, in the next 3 days, every time I do a fireside, I'm like, oh my gosh, it was so fun. I want to do another one, like the next day, but I don't want to say that. Also, I've been neglecting you beautiful patrons, and so I'm working with Zonia on trying to get y'all something. A couple people have asked me about Bible chats. I don't want to set up another YouTube video. I don't want to set up another YouTube channel, and the Bible chats don't fit in any of the 3 platforms we have, so I'm thinking about just doing standalone videos and just putting them on Patreon. And we also have a major channel announcement. Well, it's not really, it's a Vin and Sori Life announcement that's coming pretty soon. It's not going to touch the channel. Everything's still going to be fine. As a matter of fact, it's actually designed to get us to do more channel work, actually, not less. So there's that. So I got a lot of things swimming around in my head. Nobody wants to defend whites when they get attacked. Okay. When are you announcing the major announcement? We've got a couple things that need to clear first. Kyrie. Zoom.us for Bible study chat. Vin, check it out. Is Zoom kind of like the Ring Central thing where you can get 50 people in a video conference? Because if it is, then I might do those. I've got like a 3-part thingy on Genesis. But yeah. Thank you, Caleb. I appreciate it. Is Sori pregnant again? Is that what it is? Is Sori pregnant again? No, she's not pregnant again. Am I on the short list of people you want to meet? Yeah, you have my number, Silver Kyrie. Of course you are. I shouldn't have said that publicly. You should have texted that to me. But yeah, I've been working off the. I took the time to that we stacked up, 5.5, 6 weeks of videos, and instead of not working, I created a whole other thing to do. So there we go. Can we talk about how original sin is wrong in the Genesis talk? Sure, we can. I've always been confused about your original sin, your issues with original sin, Chris. It seems to me we both actually agree on it, but it's not going to be one of those. If we do the Bible thing, it's not going to be like you sit and listen to Vin lecture for 45 minutes. It's just going to be, hey, da-da-da-da. What do you guys think? Like, obviously, I'm good for polo and back and forth and all that. I just don't want to I don't want it to turn into a giant, like, jihad. Like, I'm fine with arguing. You guys know that. I just, I want to make it a less intimidating environment, I think. Like, some people like to roll around and fight, and other people, it intimidates them. And if they have genuine questions, I want them to feel free to be able to ask a question. Vin, when are you making the Vin Chase shirts? Those are coming. Actually, yeah, sure, Chris. We'll talk. And Chris, it doesn't necessarily. If you don't want to have like a public discussion, we can one-on-one it. We've been talking about this topic for a year, Chris. So, you know what I mean? Any tips on how to reach out to people who have never had spiritual experiences? I'll have to think about that. Ask me again. Texas sucks. I'm not a fan of Texas. I am not a fan. Is Elio Mike here? Whoa! Sejudo is now the champ. Did he knock him out? Yes. Organized gratuitous violence. Yes. Do another one on Monday, Stanley Cups. By Mutt's blessing, can we do an alliance leader meeting? We're like trillions of weeks. We definitely need to do an alliance leader meeting. For sure. I told Sori, I'm like, look, babe, when we get back, we got to work. People have been mega patient with us, but when we get back, we got to be back like full bore. Nobody's pregnant anymore. We got to grind. So, I don't want to talk about what's down the line, but there's going to be content. Let me just say it that way. I don't like talking about stuff. I just want to show it and have you guys go, whoa. Hopefully the Bruins can win. Yeah, that was a bullshit no call, but I'm sure we're going to be able to bounce back. So, Vinjamin. When did Vinjamin show up? I like that. I like that nick. I might change my name, Vinjamin. I really like that. Really, yeah. The Alliance picks are coming back, and we got to grind and get back on business. But at the end of the day, I appreciate you guys a lot. We both do, but you guys are really important to us. So yeah, getting back to the Alliance picks and making sure that, we come through for that. But just connecting with you guys has been fun. I'm really... Ooh, Jessica I got knocked out again. She always has bad luck. She should retire. This is so bad, but I hate seeing the girls get knocked out. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. Why is evil Ryu black? What are they trying to say? Exactly. You caught that, right? Same thing with the Super Saiyans. As soon as Goku becomes a Super Saiyan, he becomes blonde-haired and blue-eyed. Huh? Yeah. I was raised hardcore Catholic, but honestly, I just don't know. I continue to speak spiritual light. Maybe just come up short. Message me. Also, the freaking, what do you call it? Game of Thrones, that was a disaster. Very, very angry. It was the worst knockout I've seen ever in a women's fight. Ugh. Terrible. Terrible. Inshallah, Sori, I really wanted to talk to you for the whole night. Like when I was talking to M Death Fan, I was like, I was wanting you to call in, but at the same time, I was wanting to hear what he was saying because I don't like when I get confused. So I was trying to like wrap my mind around what the brother was saying, but I was just so confused. But I really wanted to hear what you were saying. And I agree with Maddie Nutrition. Never manufacture spirituality. Would you be interested one night about talking about Freemasonry? Yeah, I'm pretty sure you've talked to me about Freemasonry before. I don't really have any conspiracy theories about it. But yeah, I mean, if it comes up as a topic. Benjamin the Vindicator. Vindicator, that was my tag for a long time. Vindicator was my thingy. But yeah, good stuff. After seeing the salute, is Vin the Black Klansman? Original Vin. Yeah. The Wire. Yeah. I give The Wire the edge. Although, what were we watching? We just got done watching Once. That was pretty cool. Freemasonry has become by Jews. Oh, gosh. Oh, it's Stephen Nihilus, our resident Nazi. How you doing, Stephen? Stephen Nihilus is the proof that I allow pretty much anybody and everybody in the village. This dude is the most, like, racist, has the most evil ideologies of all time. But he's in the village, and he's been in the village, and he gets to say what he wants to say, and we're all here. I believe in free speech. There you go. Is he the one who called in? Nah, he's never called in. He's never called in. Not to my knowledge. Maybe he called in under a different name. Remember Lilo? Maybe he might be Lilo. But that's my guy. I pray for him often. As a matter of fact, to be honest with you, Nihilus or Nihilus, whatever your name is, I pray for you more than probably anybody in this group. Seriously. You come to mind a lot, and there's always like a big red flag, like, pray for this brother. So, inshallah, God takes all that hate out of your heart, my guy. I hope he takes all that hate out of your heart, bro, because you obviously don't have peace. Who was a Nazi that called in that time? Yeah, that was another kid. I wish I could find him. That was White Power Mother Effer. That was his name. And that's another one. That was a pretty heartbreaking call. Stuff that kid was dealing with. So hopefully I can run into him again. Oh, you have no hate, just truth. Right. Okay, guys. I said I was going to leave. I did that. I said that about 15, 20 minutes ago. I really am going to leave. It's just I haven't talked to you guys in such a long time. Lilo is legit tired of Vin. Yeah, Lilo. She had this kind of obsession with us and hated us at the same time. No way. Hey, Steven, send me a picture of that, bruh. When are you coming to Florida? Pony, Florida is on the short list of us moving. So it's Florida, California, and Arizona is on the short list. So there you go. So it's very possible that we could end up living by each other. Well, Mandy, I'm hanging out a little bit longer. Why all the hot places? Because I've been to Kentucky. I got assigned out in Kentucky one time, so I lived in Kentucky for a year. But yeah. How you coming to Florida so I can babysit? Yeah. Well, Florida was actually number one at the time for a while. And then we took the Cali trip, and then that changed things for her. And then Steven De Herrera texted me. He's like, yo, come to Arizona. And I was like, oh, maybe Arizona. Black soot and red blood. Good Lord, that sounds good. Main wind, yeah, bro. And you know, mud season after that, terrible. But Elio Mike, before I leave, we definitely have to go to the range. You know what I mean? Put a couple down range, you know what I'm saying? Maybe I can get M Def Fan down there too. We can go to the range together. I've got a video of me at the range. But I don't want to post it because I'm a pacifist now. So I'm not going to post that stuff because I don't want people to get the wrong idea that I'm glorifying guns. But, yeah. He'll shoot you because you're black. Stop it! That's my guy. We have the exact same shirt. I have guns. Am I invited? Yeah, everybody with guns. No, there's a message about the mailman. Chernobyl? Yeah, definitely. Like before we move, we definitely got to do that for sure. Everyone is a pacifist until they ain't. Yeah, I know. It's one of those things where it's like, oh, you did all your smoking when you were younger, and now, now because you quit, now all of a sudden everybody should stop smoking. But do not come to live in the Northwest. It really sucks here. Well, one of the things we talked about, I think it was Carmen we talked about, was like having an actual village. So eventually we're thinking about moving to Cali, but I don't think practically speaking we'd be able to pull that off because Cali's pretty freaking expensive. But I do think we'd be able to pull it off in Arizona. Actually, I was talking to De Herrera about that. If I get like 2 or 3 families convinced to move to Arizona with us, that would be cool. But we'll see. Is your friend Steve from Arizona the one that tells people go ahead and kill themselves, talking smack about people that are handicapped? I've never heard him say anything like that. He was threatening him with his back. My brother's in Texas right now, Sean, he's doing some work, taking care of some real bad. My brother's in Texas. He's loving his country over there. Yeah, Doug Cormier. We're gonna be in Massachusetts for Slipknot and for Korn. So, whoa, Art. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, my guy. Yeah. It's crazy. We're a pretty patriotic family. This family, like America, like through and through. Like all of us have paid some pretty heavy prices for this country. It's pretty crazy. And 2 of the 3 of us were not even born here. Go figure. Steven De Herrera did that to you, Cardi? I'll have to talk to him. Are you seeing Corn with Alice in Chains? Yes, I am seeing Corn. Oh, okay. You mentioned Arizona. Good. Yes, I do recognize that America can be is the sole empire of the world. I'm very, 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 very cognizant of that fact. It's probably one of the reasons I'm a pacifist now. Don't forget we need to talk. I will not forget. I probably will forget, to be honest with you. But keep reminding me. Okay. So I really am going to leave now, guys. Florida would be better. Do you live in Florida, Becky? I take insulin. He did it to me. Was that during the whole thing with that guy that died because he had to ration his insulin? I mean, I can't tell you guys how to manage the Discord thing, but good Lord. Ooh. That's no bueno. Come to Australia. Come to Australia. Eastern Orthodox is attractive because Eastern Orthodoxy still has that transcendental understanding of the faith that Western Christianity just has completely lost, either with dead Catholicism or, you know, flashy evangelicalism. So I definitely see it, XBM, for sure. Also, avoid Florida. It's full of Florida men. I used to live in Palm Bay, Florida. I think Sori would like it in Palm Bay, Florida. But Arizona has no dolphins, so. The insulin thing was on Facebook. Yeah. That's pretty brutal. Evangelicalism has absolutely demystified our faith. I agree. I totally agree with you. I love me some mysticism. We should move to Illinois. No. We're definitely not moving to Illinois. You too, big homie. Dan, I'll text you the next time I'm on the Tired Atheist show. Okay. All right. This is the 88th time I've said it. I love you guys. I gotta go. Latinos need Vin in Florida. What do you call that? Discord people. You guys got to manage your channel, man. Somebody saying hateful stuff and telling people to kill themselves, it's no bueno. I think I overstepped my bounds. I have no right to tell you guys how to run your channel. I can't tell you guys how to do that. Good chatting aside from the dumpster fire. I mean, hey, it's all good. It's all good. Oh, that was on Facebook. Okay. All right. My bad. Okay, it was on Facebook. Okay, all right. Somebody sent a screenshot of that phrase. We can't tell people to go kill themselves. Like, that's not going to happen in our community. So, anytime something like that happens, I need to see a screenshot, man. Okay, guys, for the 88th time. Wow, Z. Wow. That's deep. Okay. Yeah, BM fan. It's a strange thing because I'm always kind of like naive about stuff. So like I posted about, you know, my issues with the attitude behind the straight pride parade, and I thought it was pretty straightforward, and I thought it was something that we, you know, and to see the commentary, it was very it's a Twilight Zone type feeling, like, okay, but I don't understand Christopher Black, Kellendross, how in the world you see these comments and don't believe in original sin. Good Lord. Okay. Good. All right. So Discord is extremely civil. Everybody's happy. And Jonathan Davis is the greatest frontman of all time. And that's it. Vin out. I love you guys. Take care of each other. If you see the big homie M Death fan, let him know I love him, that I care about him, and everybody be good to the big homie. I, on the other hand, am out. I'm signing off for Vin, Sori, and Ori. We're gone.